Platform cuts through the red tape and handles all the heavy lifting that smaller regional banks and credit unions might not have the capacity to handle. Co-founder David Dindy spoke to Bloomberg about his plans to continue growing the firm, including expanding into crypto with credit unions.
We don't yet offer crypto within the credit union ecosystem, but it's something that's planned. But we've seen even in most recent runs that credit unions have been very eager to offer crypto to their customers, and we can expect that to occur now, that there's more of a bullish sentiment towards crypto.
Atomic could allow more people from more backgrounds an entry point into investing. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
This year, American farmers will harvest 2.8 billion bushels of wheat and 15.1 billion bushels of corn. And to this day, American road workers have built 4.2 million miles of roads and counting. We're proud that John Deere machines rolling off the line here in the USA play a part in supporting Americans who work the land and build a better tomorrow. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/manufacturing.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
To Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, though, man. But I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017thetruth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. I think it's important that we have a deeper understanding of American politics. That, I believe, is our only saving grace moving forward. If people know, like, how it all works, how politics turns into policy, the leverage that the political parties have over one another, the leverage that they have with their messaging over voters, what's the sentiment of the voters, and, of course, it's the economy, stupid. Voters are going to prefer a candidate or a party, maybe at the state level, maybe at the local level, federal level, that they believe is going to be more friendly to their pocketbook. And it could be the political party or the candidate that talks about low wages. We got to raise wages, or we have to lower prices. We have to cut inflation. Or maybe there's a candidate or a political party that has more experience in job creation, et cetera. So that is always a primary focus of voters. But we have to have a much deeper understanding of that, because they play a lot of tricks on us. If I know what motivates you, then I'm just going to tell you what motivates you, and then I'm going to also say, well, here's what I'm going to do. I know what motivates you. So then the perfect candidate is, almost regardless of party, can regurgitate to that voter or that potential voter, because that's the real trick. Can you get new voters involved? I'm just going to tell you what I know already motivates you. And then hopefully that turns into me winning an election. But if I know where your sentiment is, I'm just going to throw it right back at you, because it's going to make me seem like a candidate that cares, a candidate that's in tune, a candidate that is connected. And because we are a capitalist society, Americans are always thinking about that wallet, thinking about that pocketbook. It's the Christmas time now. People are doing all of their holiday shopping. Some of you are overachievers. You did your holiday shopping already. I find you people weird to go Christmas shopping in June and July, and I have met some of you people. The last thing that I want to think about in the warm, hot summer weather in Milwaukee is Christmas shopping, because chances are with me, the people that I might be buying gifts for in June or July, I may not want to give them folks gifts by December. Just a weird thing to do. Christmas shopping in June or July. There's even sales. Christmas shopping in June and July. They'll have sales for people that want to Christmas shop that early. Why do you want all that additional clutter in your house? Christmas ain't for 6 whole months, but here you are with all the gifts already. Do y'all wrap them too? You freaks. So we're always concerned about money in the economy. For some reason, and I'm going to take some responsibility here, because I need to do a much better job of defining the differences between Democrats and Republicans, and defining the differences between what the Democratic Party is going to now evolve into and what the Republican Party has descended into. The Republican Party now is the party of Trump. When you have a U.S. Senator named Tommy Tuberville, former coach of Alabama, a college team, who is now a U.S. Senator, that doesn't even know that the Voting Rights Act existed. No, seriously, go look it up. He didn't know. And he's the U.S. Senator. That doesn't even know his constitutional responsibilities and obligations to advise and consent the president on the president's nominees for different cabinet positions. Tommy Tuberville is a U.S. Senator now. Very powerful political position, because you got to keep this in mind. There are 435 members of the House of Representatives, and they represent districts that range in size between 1 million and 500 or 600,000 people. So there's 435 members of what we call the lower house, the House of Representatives. There's only 50 senators. I take that back. 100 senators. I should know this math. So a senator has a tremendous amount of power and influence. And they are usually, as a collective, far more middle of the road than corresponding members of the House of Representatives. Because House districts are so much smaller, you can elect some really crazy people. In an average House race, maybe 100,000 people vote. And this could be in a House race that has 700, 800,000 people in the actual congressional district itself. But maybe 100, 150,000 people vote. Out of 700 or 800,000 people that may live in a congressional district, if I can convince 100,000 crazy people to vote for me, I will win, and I will be the crazy representative of that entire district. Does that make sense? But with a senator, it's different, because states sometimes are 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 40 million people. So your political platform has got to be way more broad. It's got to encompass way more issues. And the vast majority of voters in America are hovering right around the middle. So to get elected to the House, you can be insane. There's a lady named Lauren Boebert. She's a representative, if I'm not mistaken, from the state of Colorado. Did she graduate from high school? She might. She might have a GED, which I'm not going to hold that against her, because, again, she got elected by people in the state of Colorado in her congressional district. Marjorie Taylor Greene would also be another example, but Lauren Boebert is a special example. She's single. Good for her. Ain't nothing wrong with being a single independent woman and also a member of the House of Representatives. Good for her. So she was on a date not too long ago. It was prior to her most recent reelection. And in the movie theater, they have cameras night vision cameras because, whenever you have big crowds and collections of people, you got to have some surveillance on them because people will do illegal things and you want to be able to make sure that the crowd is safe. So there's cameras in movie theaters. I'm sure you guys knew this already because there's cameras everywhere. Lauren Boebert, who maybe has a GED, maybe a high school diploma, certainly not a college graduate, which is fine, is on a date in a movie theater. Now, she's not married, but I think the guy she was on a date with was married at the time. But again, no judgment here. We don't judge, we just listen. So the cameras are activated in the movie theater. Don't know what the movie was, but I don't think Lauren Boebert and her date knew what the movie was either. And when the camera focuses on her and him sitting in the movie theater, where there are children also in the movie theater, there's something covering the man's lap. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, her date, has something like a jacket covering his lap. And then you can look and see very clearly on the camera that's in the movie theater, like a repetitive motion underneath that jacket that is covering her date's lap. And if you could apply a sound effect to the motion that you can see underneath Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's date, you can see the jacket is covering his lap, and then there's a repetitive motion going on underneath that jacket. If I could apply a sound effect to that repetitive motion, it would be tug, 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 tug. And I'm not talking about a tugboat. She is a member of the House of Representatives. Of course, that video went viral. She got reelected anyway. I said all that to say this. Members of the House of Representatives can be absolutely insane and nuts, and they even have a caucus. A caucus, I'm going to do a better job of defining political terms because I want anyone and everyone who listens to this show, so when they listen to, I don't care if it's CNN or C-SPAN or their local news, or if they go to a congressional hearing, I want you to know what all the terms mean because them folks are not going to have one over on us. We're going to know everything they're doing, everything they're saying, and we're going to know all the meanings behind it because we must be well informed as we move into this next era of politics in the United States. The Democrats are going to have to redefine themselves because they now have to be a party that is not just in opposition to Republicans and bad Republican policies, which I'll get into. This is not going to be an emotional conversation for me. This is going to be a factual one. So the Democrats have to oppose bad Republican policies. The Democrats also have to look at the American public, see where we're at, look at the economy, which, believe it or not, is a strong suit for the Democrats, figure out how to create policies for that, but then also figure out how do you talk to the damn American people about the policies that you want to create that are going to be sensitive to the American pocketbook, because, that's what drives us to the polls anyway, how much money we got in our wallet. But also it has to be a political party that opposes and stands firmly against Donald Trump and what Donald Trump has done to the Republican Party. A little while ago, I mentioned Tommy Tuberville. He's a senator from Alabama. He said, well, we as senators, we don't need to vet or interview or have committee hearings on who Donald Trump wants to put in his cabinet because Donald Trump has already done it. That, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to understand what that statement is by a U.S. senator in which there are only 100. There are 435 members of the House of Representatives, and because those House districts are smaller, the House can elect crazy people, but the Senate, because the senators represent entire states, which are much larger than individual House districts, need to be more reasonable. But Tommy Tuberville, who is a U.S. senator from the state of Alabama, said, well, we don't need to interview any of these people that Donald Trump wants to put in his cabinet because we trust Donald Trump's judgment. A statement like that is the ending of our democracy. Whenever you have a U.S. senator that is shirking their constitutional duties, responsibilities, and obligations, that means the democracy is starting to crumble. The Senate is supposed to be a separate but equal branch of government. They're supposed to oppose the president, regardless of party. If the president is doing something they shouldn't be doing, that's not in the best interest of the people in this country, the people of the state in which they represent, but more importantly, If the president is doing something that is defying the Constitution, every U.S. senator has an obligation to say, excuse me, Mr. President, per this document that creates all of our jobs, including yours, Mr. President, we can't let you do that. But Tommy Tuberville said, oh, we don't need to waste time. Donald Trump knows who he wants to put in his cabinet. We don't have to interview them. So the Democrats are going to have to figure out how they navigate through that world, but also not looking weak and also not looking like you're a political party that only cares about trans rights. So they got a tough job ahead of them. So let me say this. I'm going to take my break. Donald Trump will go down in history for something else unique to him. So he was impeached twice during his first term. Joe Biden defeats Donald Trump in 2020. Joe Biden did not run again in 2024. His vice president, Kamala Harris, ran. She lost. Therefore, Donald Trump, who was his party's nominee for the third straight election cycle, got reelected in 2024. Right now, the Republicans have a very slim majority in the House of Representatives. When I say slim, it's even slimmer because Matt Gaetz is not going to run again, or he ran and won, but he's not going to assume his seat as a Republican from Florida in the House. So I think that in the time being, the Republicans have maybe a 2-seat majority in the House of Representatives, meaning anything that Speaker Mike Johnson wants to pass, he can't lose to Republicans. He can't. He's got to have his whole caucus basically what we call whipped. Okay? The Republicans are not going to hold on to their majority in the House, nor are they going to hold on to their majority in the Senate come 2026, because America's going to see just enough in these next 2 years to where they're going to want to switch direction, and not entirely switch direction, but America will elect a few more Democrats to the House. Hakeem Jeffries will become Speaker. Now, Donald Trump will get so drunk on his own power, ego, narcissism, and hubris that he's going to do things during these next 2 years while the Republicans have the majority in the House and have the majority in the Senate. Donald Trump is going to do things that are going to be extrajudicial, extra legal, highly illegal. He's going to screw up things, mess up things, put this country in an even worse light internationally. So that is what a lot of voters are going to respond to in 2026. And they're going to say, let's give the Democrats another try to try and put some brakes on or checks on Donald Trump. Follow me. Here's where Donald Trump is going to make history again. He will be impeached again. He will be the only president in American history, and I hope this is a kind of history that never repeats itself. A president who was elected and impeached twice. A president who ran for re-election and lost, then runs for re-election again and wins, and then gets impeached again. So every term Donald Trump serves, and you can take this to the bank. You got to keep in mind, when I say stuff knowing it's going to be permanent. Y'all can replay this show December 11, 2024, and 2026, and 2027, and 2028, and my sentiments will remain the same. Trump will do such outrageous and ridiculous things in these next 2 years because he has all of these Republicans coddling him because they're scared of him, that he will get impeached the moment the Democrats assume power in the House of Representatives. You can take that to the proverbial bank. Got a lot to talk about today. I also want to give you a different perspective on the Democrats and why they're just overall better for the economy. And if you're an economic voter, because, you know, it is the economy, stupid, then you should be casting your ballots for Democrats up and down the ballot. But don't worry, I'm going to qualify that statement with some fact, because that's what I do on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
101.7 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
It's almost that time. The Black and Diverse Gala featuring the pitch finale, Thursday, December 19th, 5 to 9 p.m. at the Deco. The Wisconsin Black Chamber is about to change another life and award the first place winner of the pitch finale with $10,000. Second place, $7,000. Third place, $3,000. There will also be great food, a wine tasting of the wines made by our Black Winemaker Chicago Day Trip participants, entertainment, vendors, networking, and just an all-around great vibe. Join the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce in celebrating another great year at our Black and Diverse Gala featuring the pitch finale. Tickets go on sale November 22nd. Visit twbcc.com to purchase tickets so you don't miss out on what we have going on.
Truth Nation, there's a critical need for more African-American blood donors in Milwaukee, and we want to encourage you to help save lives by donating blood.
This is why we ask you to join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we have partnered with Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin for a blood drive with your favorite truth shows broadcasting live on site.
Come watch Truth Be Told with Telly, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and Jam with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Mahone Juice, live from the Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin.
That is right, y'all. So join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our Truth Blood Drive.
Okay, Fred, so I got some questions.
What's up?
Where should I go if I want to start my own business?
You go to EerieInsurance.com.
Okay, Fred, so where should I go if my kid needs an internship? Or if I need a job, where do I go?
You go to EerieInsurance.com.
Okay, so what if I want to work for a company that believes in diversity, has great benefits, and growth for people like us?
You already know. It's EerieInsurance.com.
Man, so Fred, I just need to go to Erie Insurance?
Go to EerieInsurance.com for all that you need.
It's amazing!
Everywhere in America, families are struggling with an all-too-common problem.
She missed school again.
Again?
Something is going on. She's secretive.
Should we check her backpack?
When you suspect a family member has a substance use disorder, it's hard to know what to do next.
We need to talk to her.
Starting the conversation is the first step to getting help. Visit SAMHSA at samhsa.gov/families for tips, or for treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. So I'm going to try and illustrate to y'all why the Democrats are the political party that are best for the economy. The Democrats have a PR problem. And some of that is their fault. Some of that is the media's fault. Media is very much corporatized. Local media less so. National media, of course, cable news is as biased as you can possibly get. And you guys know that I have a political bias. But there are some hosts, I'm going to say, on cable news that are so biased. Even if they're biased in my favor, I can't listen to them. Now, I don't want to particularly name this host because every now and again I gave a hint. She does make some good points, but she gets so emotionally invested in the topics, and she hates Trump so much. I mean, like more than she hates anything else, and too much of that comes out in her journalism and in her reporting. And she's otherwise a fantastic journalist, but her bias is just, I can see how it can turn people off completely. But that does not help the Democrats market who they are and talk about the things that they actually do. They got to be a party that pushes back on bad Republican ideas. They got to be a political party that takes the American sentiment and transforms that into policy to genuinely help people. And they have to push back on Donald Trumpism and what the Republican Party has become. Those are major responsibilities. And here's the thing. They don't really have any help. There are very few Republicans. And this is the most disappointing thing of it all. And even Trump supporters, at some level, to some extent, they're going to have to agree. They're not going to agree now because they're still riding high. they're still very happy with the victory, and they're still very happy with the Republicans having a majority in the U.S. Senate and in the House. But there's always a catch-22 with that, because here's what the Democrats get to do in the meantime. They get to go back to the drawing board, reshape, rethink, and retool everything, kind of see where America is, and then create policies for where America is and where America should be going, right? So they have a reprieve. Right now, everything that's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, I mean everything. The cost of food, which we're going to get to a little bit later in the show, the overall economy, global conflicts, our role in global conflicts, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, veterans benefits, taxes, how we treat the wealthy when it comes to their taxes and their tax breaks. Everything that is going to happen for the next 2 years, or what I call the foreseeable future, is all on the Republicans, because they have the votes to do everything. And so if this country does great, I would actually be very happy. Because ultimately, I want America to win. Because if America wins, you win, I win, Milwaukee wins, and Milwaukee needs a win. We do. We need to get a win somewhere. If we don't get it locally or statewide, then we need to get one at the national level, because Milwaukee needs a victory lap. But everything that is going to take place in this country politically is going to fall on the Republicans. And there is no way that one political party that is no longer in the habit of making good policy is going to be able to accept that responsibility and do good things with that responsibility, because they have just been so dedicated, like a doting affection toward Trump. And it's not even really Trump voters. It's Trump himself. Like, that's scary. You know, the Republicans also do this thing where they're very anti-feminist. They're very pro-man, pro-macho man, and men need to be men. And I get it. Especially for some African-American men who feel that they are losing. The only advantage that we have as black men, quite honestly, is the fact that we're men, because this is still a patriarchal, paternalistic kind of society. So men do still have status and stature over women, right? But if we as black men feel that we are losing our masculinity to women, to feminism, then it'll draw even more of us black men, because that's our only advantage in this country. Being black, I don't know if you know it. Well, now it's probably like, it's kind of neutral. Neutral, or like -2 points being black is. Being a man is like +5 points, right? So it gives us a bit more of an advantage, because this is still a man's world. Thank you, James Brown. So if we feel that we are losing the only advantage that we have, which is our man cisgender heterosexuality, heteronormative, whatever those other terms are, then it's going to make us gravitate more toward a strong man like Donald Trump. Because look at Trump. He had a bunch of women. He paid a bunch of women, had prostitutes, got a bunch of kids with a bunch of women or whatever. It's, even though it's totally screwed up, there's some men like, yeah, Donald Trump's a real man. But here's what I don't get. And he promotes that very well. Like, that is a part of Donald Trump's brand. So if you don't know a lot about policy, you could just look at who Trump is as a man. Oh, he's a billionaire. He's rich. I want to be rich one day. Ooh, Donald Trump got a bunch of hoes. I want a bunch of hoes. I got to stop saying that word, because apparently it'll get you in trouble. And so people will emulate men who feel like the only advantage they have is their masculinity, and the fact that they're not gay, they're not transgender, the fact that they are cisgender. And Donald Trump caters to and courts those men. But this is the part that I don't get. The number of men that are sycophants to Donald Trump, that worship him. That, to me, is more feminine than feminism. Did y'all follow that? The number of grown men that are in the House of Representatives, that are U.S. senators, that just have this blind, affectionate, like romantic affinity for Donald Trump, is more feminine than feminism. Because just listen to him. Lindsey Graham, perfect example, or maybe a bad example. Those of you that know about Lindsey Graham, either you know or you don't know. Well, I just think Donald Trump is just the best thing that's ever happened to this country. If he asked me to do his laundry, absolutely I would. If he wanted me to take care of all his little daily errands, I would do that as well. The way they just fall at his feet, the way a U.S. senator, former coach of Alabama, Roll Tide, said, oh, we don't have to vet or interview or have committee hearings on Donald Trump's cabinet selections, even though it's literally in the Constitution. The U.S. senators are supposed to do that, regardless of their party, regardless of the party of the president. Tommy Tuberville said, we trust Donald Trump to do everything he wants to do. We don't need to do our jobs. That's feminine. It's very gay. It is. Say it's wrong. You can't say it's wrong. The way they love Donald Trump. All right, let me give you guys another reason why you should imagine that the Democrats are the party of like real masculinity, because like Joe Biden was cool, but I didn't love dude like that. I didn't. Obama, cool too, still cool, but I don't love dude like that. I have just like a respect for Barack Obama. Not, I want to wear his hats. I want to sleep naked in a Barack Obama t-shirt. I bet you some of these Trumpers, I ain't lying to you. I bet you it's a Trumper out there. A man, a hairy, fat man that's a Donald Trump supporter, very fat and hairy. They go hand in hand. The fatter, the hairier. That sleeps butt naked with a Donald Trump t-shirt on because he wants to feel closer to Trump. Well, I sleep with the Trump t-shirt on. First of all, red is my color. And I want to feel as close to him as possible. Go Trump, Trump 2024. Throughout the 2024 election cycle, polls showed voters believed President-elect Donald Trump would be better for the economy than President Joe Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris. That sentiment often repeats in many election cycles because Americans tend to think Republicans are better at handling the economy than Democrats. In 2012, for example, polls showed that voters trusted Mitt Romney more with the economy than Barack Obama. So I'm going to pause there and pick it back up, explaining how the Democrats, since World War II, have been dramatically better for the U.S. economy than all of the Republicans elected since like 1948. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Bengo made his list and checked it twice. Turns out Bucks fans are really nice. Slay the holidays with a limited time ticket offer that will land you at the top of Bengo's nice list. Score gifts for the Bucks fans in your life and treat yourself too. Holiday packages feature ticket codes to redeem now or use later, exclusive Bucks holiday items, and an e-gift card that can be used to eat, drink, and be merry at Pfizer Forum. Explore options at bucks.com/deal season.
Check out Jammin' with Juice, where it's amazingly juicy.
No, that's beautiful, Jesse. If you ever need any host for any of these events that you have coming up, you should contact Jammin' with Juice. We'll be more than happy to host these events for you.
Listen, Jammin' with Juice, you are like top of my list. Now I know we're going to do a lot of fun stuff in a lot of years to come because I love you guys. I love your listeners. I love Milwaukee. And I can't wait to have an amazing night next week with Cast-Off, T. Grizzly, and Lakia.
Yes, I love that you picked those artists as well because they're really powerful artists, especially for the youth.
And you know you always got a friend in Ben.
You know what? Shout out to Not Really a City Girl, man. Shout out to Not Really a City Girl. That is a really great item.
For my birthday?
Oh, yeah.
A sweatshirt with your picture and an autographed copy of your non-existent CD?
Yup.
No stone left unturned.
Okay, I just wanted to say we were talking about picking races, I am biracial, so I always had to pick one. If everybody remembers, you used to have to pick one. And I was always black. Now, when I called over the phone for a loan, I used my white voice, and I got a really great rate.
Come get your drop of juice.
Hey, I want to say congratulations to both of y'all from where y'all started at the station to where y'all at now.
Thank you.
I remember Juicy Juice used to be upstairs. Nobody never seen her. And Jammin', you started over there, I think, with Tori, and now where y'all at now, I'm proud of y'all. And you know we sipping on that apple. And don't forget the crown. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all have a blessed day. I love both of y'all and keep continue the good energy for us young people.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
From the 414 to everyone across the globe, Jammin' with Juice is here for you. Check out Jammin' with Juice daily on YouTube.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So the Democrats are, and this is contrary to popular belief and contrary to popular opinion, but opinions a lot of times are not rooted in fact. The Republicans have just marketed themselves as better for the economy because that's where the business people are. But the business people are in the Republican Party because they have consolidated wealth and transformed wealth into a political apparatus, and they essentially look out for one another. And this is not me making this stuff up. Look who Donald Trump is putting in his cabinet. Vivek Ramaswamy is a billionaire, and he's going to have purview over government spending, which is dangerous because Congress is supposed to have purview over government spending. But remember, Republicans that are elected in the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate they essentially sidestep their duties in favor of whatever Donald Trump wants. So they are not honoring their responsibility to the Constitution or to the American people. They're supposed to be the watchdogs over spending. Congress has the purse. That's an actual real saying. But if Donald Trump wants to put a couple of billionaires in, they want to slash a bunch of programs that billionaires would never benefit from, then that's exactly what they are going to do. And there's going to be a way in which the Republicans in the House and in the Senate are just going to go along with it. Now, ultimately, it's going to cost them. But I don't think they care. I don't think the Republicans care. Well, Trump doesn't care. He's going to do everything that he wants to do, and no one is going to stop him. Not the law, not federal judges, not the Supreme Court. And in the meantime, no Democrats are going to stop him either. Trump can't go to jail. Do y'all understand what this is like? I haven't explained that well enough. No, listen to me. Listen. Please listen. Not a single person in this country knows what it's like to live a life where no matter what you do, you will never go to jail. I want you to think long and hard about that. Not a single one of us knows what it's like to live a life where you are free from prosecution for anything. If you are president of the United States, per this Supreme Court, in which 6 justices are conservative, 3 of whom, so 50% of Donald Trump's majority on the Supreme Court, he picked. And they are protecting him in ways that Americans simply can't understand. We can't grasp it. Just that alone, okay, means that I would want a president who I can trust. Because if they can do whatever they want and are immune, not only is he immune from prosecution, anybody who commits a crime on his behalf, he can pardon. Donald Trump can create an entire criminal enterprise out of the federal government, and we can't do anything but watch the city burn. That's crazy when you think about it. This was orchestrated by the people who are at the Heritage Foundation. All of this has been orchestrated, and I feel kind of stupid because they planned it right in front of our faces. They played us with Project 2025. I know that we try to make a big deal out of it. If you put together a document that's 900 pages long, you are guaranteeing ain't nobody going to read it. And we kept telling each other, didn't we? Read Project 2025. And then we'd have the Saturday afternoon to ourselves. Ain't got no responsibilities. All your little errands is done. Laundry is done. Everything is put away. House is real tidy. And you got time. You got time today. He said, let me dig into this Project 2025. Y'all got to page 2, second paragraph. It's like, I think I'll go do something else. They told you what they were going to do, not for you, but to you. And And they also made it abundantly clear that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to let Donald Trump, really any president, because Joe Biden has the same immunity that Donald Trump does up until January 20th. And here's the worst thing that Joe Biden did, and y'all having a fit about this, pardoned his only surviving boy. That's how Joe Biden uses his power. He just pardoned his boy. That's all. That's all he did. Donald Trump is free from prosecution, and so are the people that will be co-conspirators with him. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you, D Angels? Oh, he hung up. Why? Dude, you call here 75 times a day harassing my producer. The next time you call, you going directly on the air. I ain't playing with dude no more. Dude calls 72 times a day, thinking he's friends with the producer. You call back. All right, that's what I thought. There are a lot of reasons why voters would think that the Republicans are better for the economy. Republicans have a long history of branding themselves as the pro-business party that will cut taxes and eliminate red tape. Meanwhile, Democrats run on strengthening regulations, and even though those can be popular proposals like, say, raising the minimum wage, voters get concerned that these policies may hinder business. And this article comes from Vox.com. But there's a disconnect between how voters feel about Republicans' management of the economy and the historical record. Since World War II, there has been a consistent pattern of the economy faring better under Democratic presidents than Republican ones. More jobs have been created under Democrats. Democrats also saw higher rates of GDP growth. So when you talk about the quote-unquote economy, the gross domestic product is if you add up the value of all of the things that are made and produced in America, everything from cars to travel agent services to airline tickets to creating weapons of war. If you add up all the prices of all of the things created in this country, that is your gross domestic product. The product is our production. The gross domestic product is everything produced by everybody domestically, means here in the United States. More jobs have been created under Democrats, for example, who also saw higher rates of GDP growth, and economic downturns tend to happen under Republicans. 10 of the last 11 recessions started with a Republican. I'm going to read that again. 10 of the last 11 recessions started under a Republican administration. Contrary to popular belief, while Joe Biden was president, there was not a recession. Y'all just didn't like the fact that grocery prices went up. And I got an explanation here, a complicated one, but an explanation nonetheless that I really hope I get to before the show is over as to why you saw the increase in food prices. And it didn't have anything to do with Joe Biden or his economic policies. Literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, I think some of these companies conspire to raise prices because that would be used against Joe Biden and or Kamala Harris, and it worked. It worked famously, in fact. 10 of the last 11 recessions started under a Republican administration. Let me go ahead and just make this little prediction. I'm going to make a prediction for you. You ready? Make a prediction. Because we did not get a recession during Joe Biden's 4 years. We did have a recession during Donald Trump's 4 years because COVID. So I'm going to give Trump a bit of a reprieve. But the way he handled COVID, the way the economy was handled under him, wasn't exactly the best use of our resources, because we had a pandemic playbook, which includes how you save the American economy when your supply chain gets cut off. But Trump didn't use any of that. So there was, in fact, I'm just looking at the facts here. The last recession we had in this country was during COVID. Who was president? A Republican, Donald Trump. We are due for another recession. I get nervous when stock markets are at all-time highs. I get nervous when the S&P and the Dow and the NASDAQ and the Russell 3000, and for those of you that are still into the crypto, when Bitcoin is in a six-figure, six-digit number. The American economy does not go up like constantly, continuously, nonstop. It doesn't go up unabated. It always, when we think things are at the best, they come down. The roaring 1920s ended in 1929 with the stock market crash. The boom of the 1980s under this hot Reagan economy Black Monday, they called it. I think it was October 29th, 1987. Stock market bottoms out. The dot-com boom and bust in the late 1990s, all these internet companies, they had this speculative value of billions and billions of dollars. And oh my God, the internet is going to revolutionize business. And let's be clear, the internet did revolutionize business. But because it was such a new technology and nobody knew how far the internet would go, a lot of these fly-by-night dot-com companies came online, and all of a sudden their values were at $20 billion, $30 billion, $40 billion, $50 billion, because we just didn't know how big these internet companies could get, because now the entire planet was their marketplace. Well, that busted too. So whenever you have an escalating economy, it always comes crashing down. So this economy that we have right now will also come crashing down. And guess who's going to be president? And guess what is also going to drive a lot of voters to have buyer's remorse and then vote for Democrats in the House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate come the midterm elections of 2026. All right, what do the numbers say? The economy has expanded more under Democrats than Republicans since 1945. Democratic presidents oversaw on average 4.1% annual GDP growth, whereas Republican administrations had an average GDP growth rate of 2.5%, according to CFRA Research. They are an investment firm. When it comes to job creation, both Biden and Harris, which didn't work at the end of the day, highlighted Trump's poor record during his first term. The United States lost more jobs than it had gained, the worst jobs record of any president in modern history. In Trump's defense, the COVID pandemic, a once-in-a-century kind of event, is the reason so many jobs were gone by the time he left office. But while Trump can point to COVID as the reason for his bad performance, the truth is that Republicans still have a significantly worse job record than Democrats do. Going back to President Harry Truman, Democrats have added more than twice the amount of jobs as Republicans, 70.5 million jobs under Democrats compared to 29.1 million jobs under Republicans. Even the stock market, which it should be noted, does not always reflect the actual health of the economy, has performed better under every Democratic president. According to CFRA Research, the S&P 500 saw an average annual gain of 11.2% under the Democrats and 6.9% under Republicans since 1945. And just another bit of a note, if those of you that want to invest in crypto, so crypto is not proven. We have got data going back 80 damn years that if you invest your money in the stock market under a Democratic president, your money is going to grow at a higher and faster rate. Point is proven. Crypto is too speculative. And I know y'all are getting sick of me like harping on cryptocurrency, but I'm trying to give y'all fair warning. It is a scam, and I'm seeing far too many of our people, black folks, that are financially vulnerable, that think they're going to get rich quick, see a couple of stories about crypto, and crypto is something new, it's something exciting, it's something shiny, and it's not tied to the banking system. We see that as our way to get rich, and that is not at all the case. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
It's that time. Thursday, December 19th, the Wisconsin Black Chamber is adding value to someone's business with $10,000, $7,000, or $3,000. Thursday, December 19th at the Deco, 7140 West Greenfield Avenue, 5 to 9 p.m. We're celebrating our third annual Black and Diverse Gala featuring the pitch finale. Of course, there'll be great food. This year, we highlight Tons of Love Catering, Lily Bell's Catering and Fine Dining, and Dream Foods. And we don't stop there. Deshay AG will be performing the Black Winemaker Chicago Deco day trip participants are hosting a wine tasting. There's life-changing networking opportunities, games, prizes, raffles, giveaways, and DJ L Boogie making your body move. And of course, there's vendors ready to help you get your last-minute shopping done while you party. We take pride in doing the most. We work hard all year, and we plan to celebrate with that same energy. It's all love. Thursday, December 19th, 5 to 9 at the Deco. Tickets are on sale now. Visit twbcc.com so you don't miss out on what we have going on. twbcc.com.
All insurance companies, they want to know where are your cars housed. Right. They want to know how far are you driving to get to and from work every day. They want to know all these different things for weather patterns. Are you living in northern Wisconsin or are you living down in Tornado Alley somewhere in Kentucky? These things make a difference as to how your insurance rates are formed. I need you to be factual, and every single time somebody commits these different frauds, it all adds up and everybody ends up paying the price for it down the road.
Erie Insurance, providing the protection you need and the service you expect, all at a great price.
Truth Nation, there's a critical need for more African-American blood donors in Milwaukee, and we want to encourage you to help save lives by donating blood.
This is why we ask you to join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we have partnered with Varsity Blood Center of Wisconsin for a blood drive with your favorite truth shows broadcasting live on site.
Come watch Truth Be Told with Telly, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and Jamming with Juice with Benjamin and Carrie Mahone Juice, live from the Varsity Blood Center of Wisconsin.
That is right, y'all. So join us on Friday, December 20th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our Truth Blood Drive.
In our community, you will find a Center for Food Security. You'll discover a Center for Behavioral Health Support, a proven Center for Home Care, a successful Center for Employment, a Center for Trauma Recovery, and more. We are Centers for Independence. Find out how you can support Centers for Independence's work and mission at cfihope.org/independence.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Even the stock market, which should be noted, does not always reflect the actual health of the economy, has performed better under Democratic leadership, according to CFRA. The S&P 500 saw an average annual gain of 11.2% under Democrats and under 7% with Republican presidents, and that's every year since 1945. Inflation is a more complicated story, according to the American Economic Association. The inflation rates were, on average, lower under Democrats than Republicans from 1945 to 2016. So, knowing history, because Americans are uncertain. I'm uncertain about the future, so are you. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what global conflicts are going to take place. We don't know what companies are going to go overseas and ship more jobs away. We also are very uncertain what illegal migrants being deported is going to do to the American economy and the hole it is going to create in a lot of industries that are already understaffed. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why knowing history is important. And other than how we feel and the personality of the candidates and maybe the gender of the candidates, and there's always history-making factors in every single presidential election. If you get rid of all of that and just be bare bones about the facts of the matter, if you want the economy to be strong, because as James Carville said 30-plus years ago, it's the economy, stupid. Americans are voting that pocketbook. If you know that the stock market has done better, if you know that recessions do not happen and you have more job creation under Democrats, if you have an uncertain future about your nation, vote for the Democrat. And it's all spelled out. And here's what the Democrats don't do. They don't talk about that. Hey, America, we know the future's kind of uncertain, but if you look at our track record since back before your parents were born, hey, we do better with the economy. We help the American people. We put more money in your pocket. Inflation is more in check. For those of you that have money in 401ks, stock market investors, you're going to do better too. Even you billionaires are going to be even more billionaire when Republicans are out of the White House. We have a basketball team here. They're called the Milwaukee Bucks. A buck is a male deer. They have a brand new arena. Well, it's new enough. I think they built it in, first game was in 2019, 2018. We had a monster deal with some hedge fund managers that said, we'll come in here, we'll revamp and revitalize the team, and we'll pay for half of your new arena. Because the hedge fund managers and the billionaires that purchased the Milwaukee Bucks and put up 50% essentially of their money in rebuilding and building rather the Fiserv Forum, they made so much money under Barack Obama, they had enough money to buy our damn basketball team. And they were all Democrats, the Edens, the Lazarys, and others. Imagine that. They made so much money under Barack Obama. They're like, hey, let's buy the Bucks and keep them in Milwaukee. Because I don't know if y'all know this. Seattle had already designed what the Seattle Bucks logo and uniform was going to look like. So let's just look at history. The facts say that the Republicans do not do well with the economy as the Democrats. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are you tired of yo-yo dieting? This is Dr. Williams, Chief Scientific Officer at Invite Health, and we hear from people every day struggling to lose weight. We know that our powerful blend of clinically studied nutrients and probiotic HX Weight can help. Probiotic HX Weight is your best tool to target that stubborn belly fat and get the results you've been wanting. In a 12-week study, Bifidobacterium breve B3, a powerful probiotic, along with Bergason FF, a blend of artichoke and bergamot extract, were shown to significantly drop body fat. Order Probiotic HX Weight today and receive a second bottle free. That's right, call now to order Probiotic HX Weight today and get a second bottle free. 800-784-1987. That's 800-784-1987. Call now for Probiotic HX Weight and get a second bottle free. Includes free shipping and a bonus bottle of vitamin C. Call now, 800-784-1987. That's 800-784-1987.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Talk with your listeners to remind them of their power and the importance of voting. And the folks in Milwaukee turned out for me and Joe Biden in 2020. You showed what was possible.
U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are you a racist?
Absolutely not.
Is Donald Trump a racist?
Absolutely not. No.
And civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump.
Thank you all for speaking truth to power. That's the most important thing, because right now there are those in our community who would rather we just be quiet.
Right.
We have to disturb the peace now more than ever.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Calling all big thinkers. The world's climate is changing. These aren't new facts, but it means we must think in new ways about how we can live, prosper, and provide energy for our world while protecting our planet. Engineers are answering the call to create cleaner, safer, reliable energy. Solar power, harnessing the power of the sun to light all corners of the globe. Wind power, channeling a simple breeze to bring electricity to our homes. Hydropower, using the natural flow of water to generate electricity. Nuclear power, engineering advanced reactors that are safer, more reliable, and produce zero carbon emissions. Engineers are leading the way and empowering the next generation. Engineers answer the call. Brought to you by the National Academy of Engineering. Learn more at nae.edu.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. First hour, I did my level best to try and illustrate that the economy does better under Democrats. There are rarely, if ever, recessions under Democrats. Democrats have created something like 70 million jobs. Republicans, when they're in office since 1945, have only created 29.1 million jobs. And the stock market, all of the indices go up under Democratic presidents as opposed to Republican presidents. Yet Republicans have this ultimate talking point that the economy does better under them. They are duping the American people. Sometimes a brand is just an illusion. It's made up. It's make-believe. There are some people that may believe that because a food product markets itself as healthy, that it's actually healthy. No, the brand may tell you that it's healthy, but it's actually poisoning you and giving you type 3 diabetes. There's not a type 3 diabetes yet, but if it ever happens, it'll probably happen here in America. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. So we have been confused by the branding of the Republicans, and shout out to them because their echo chamber works. They have so many either talk radio hosts or they have things like Fox News. They have these large evangelical churches that preach not just the gospel to their large following, but also preach politics. I cannot think of, for the life of me, the name of this documentary, but it talks about how the religious right intertwined itself with politics, and they were going to preach pro-life and Republican policies every single Sunday in churches, especially in the South, these big mega churches. A lot of these mega churches in the South are white churches, 10, 20, 30,000 parishioners at once in these gigantic arena-sized churches. They have combined the moral majority of the right with the preaching and teaching of the gospel. So somebody actually told me about the documentary, and I watched it either last weekend or the weekend before. I didn't get through all of it, but it's really, really fascinating stuff. But they have essentially solidified their reputation as being socially conservative, which they're not. Socially conservative people get married once, stay married, and have children with the wife that they married, or vice versa. Trump has been divorced more times than most of y'all will ever be married. Trump has literal baby mamas. There's pictures of Donald Trump's current wife on the internet naked. Could you imagine for a second? Let me give a double standard because every now and again I got to throw it in there because people forget about double standards. Could you imagine if you could go on the internet and see Michelle Obama's chi-chis? Could you imagine that? If Michelle Obama used to pose naked and her chi-chis, I don't even know if I would have voted for Barack Obama had he married a woman like that. And no offense to women that want to show their chi-chis on the internet, because a lot of you do. If you want to see a woman naked, you don't even have to pay the high cover charge at a strip club or the high drink price at a strip club or even tip at a strip club. You don't have to do that. Depending upon how old you are, that girl that you wanted to date in high school that didn't want to date you because something popular or whatever, you probably can see her naked on OnlyFans for $8. I'm serious. You can just... Sometimes it's free. Do you know they have free... I've been told. I've heard. I've heard somebody said it to me. I don't know who said it. That they have OnlyFans accounts that are free. You don't have to pay anything for them. So you don't have to. Michelle Obama had an OnlyFans that will call into question Barack Obama's judgment. Sir, why would you marry a woman? Now, let's be clear. Michelle Obama does not have an OnlyFans at all. Well, not all OnlyFans pages are naked people. Some OnlyFans are people that do like cooking demonstrations. And there's like content creators, like legitimate. I'm serious. There's legitimate content creators, not just showing your chi-chis and your tatas and that nasty little monkey isn't legitimate content. It is. It is. It's just, there's other things on OnlyFans. I think OnlyFans has also branded itself as a place where you go see that girl in high school naked. So there's that. But Donald Trump is not socially conservative at all. In fact, and another cornerstone of being socially conservative is being pro-life. Trump wasn't always pro-life. He's pro-life because it's politically expedient for him. And he was able to take advantage of something Ronald Reagan did probably better than any modern day president: connect your administration and your policies with God, Jesus, and the Bible. You're not just leading the American people, you are leading them with divinity, with the word and the teaching of Christ. We were warned about that a very long time ago because we are a nation that prides itself on its freedom of religion. Here, in America, just think, like, this is the cornerstone of this nation. You can come here and worship all sorts of stuff, or you can choose to not worship at all, and it's protected. They can pass no law that can abridge or infringe on your right to worship as you see fit, meaning you can be a Muslim, you can be a Jew, you can be all sorts of different flavors of Christian. There's a lot of flavors of Christian. Did you know that there's even some flavors of Christian that are racist and they burn crosses on black people's yards? Yeah, Christianity is just that diverse. It's very diverse. You can hate black people and love you some Jesus, but then go to separate churches on Sunday. It's a very unusual kind of concept, but we have freedom of religion here. But if you tell the people in this country that Christianity is the religion of the highly favored, and if you can use Christianity to disrespect and demean and put black people in a position of subservience, well, then let's just put "In God We Trust" on the money. And they have combined their policies with America's love of only one God, not Allah, but God that's not brown. I guess the God that most Christians worship probably is the blonde guy with blue eyes. All right, let's talk about these food prices, because that was a prevailing issue, not just through the most recent presidential campaign, but really for the last few years. And we have used this word, I think overused it, and in some cases misused the word inflation. So inflation is a very real thing, and you know it's a real thing because sometimes you'll see something on the social media, because a lot of y'all are on the social media, and they'll say, oh, in 1964, the average price of a house was $19,000. And then somebody will say something like, I sure wish it was 1964 again, because look how cheap houses were. And it's usually a black person. We see how inexpensive things used to be, and we all of a sudden, we want to revert back to that year and back to that time. We get real nostalgic about things in the past, and as black folks, we should not be doing that. Let me tell you why. Yeah, a house might have been $21,000 in 1964, but your black ass couldn't vote. Is that worth it? The police could just pull you over, just kill you, and then put you back in the car. Nobody goes to jail. There was a time where if you were black, you couldn't testify against a white person in court, even if you witnessed the white person kill your mother. But houses were cheap. You could buy a Chevrolet for $1,900. There is no point in time in which life was better for African Americans, but we seem to think that it was. You can even have those folks to get nostalgic about maybe the late 1960s, early 1970s here in Milwaukee, where we had a lot of industrial employment, manufacturing employment, assembly lines, etc., that actually brought a lot of African American men and women and families up to the upper Midwest, Gary, Indiana, Detroit, the auto industry, Chicago, the meatpacking industry, and in Milwaukee, they actually had some of all of the above. We even had A.O. Smith, even had an American Motors Company right there on East Capitol Drive. You know what's there now? A damn Walmart. And we get nostalgic about that. But your black ass couldn't drive north of Capitol Drive. But boy, oh boy, we sure had jobs. We cannot be nostalgic about the past. The past was horrible to us. And to be nostalgic about the past means that we are overlooking all of the things and all of the sacrifices and all of the lives lost and all of the marching and all of the police brutality that took place for us to get to where we are right now. So we get nostalgic about the past because of prices, but we also don't have a concept of how unkind things were, how unfair history was to black people in days of yore. But you know who does want to go back to that time? They do. They want to make America great again. And just the symbolism in that directional reference. Again, they want to make America great. Like, when was it great? When they could do whatever they wanted? When they had the same kind of immunity in the courts that is now shared by the President of the United States? That was never great for us. And you know what that statement means. And here's what's crazy. You got black folks say, yeah, make America great again. When was it great for you? During mass incarceration? How about the crack epidemic? How about when they were shipping black men off to the Vietnam War to just die while we were needed right here to fight civil rights battles? So when was life great for us? 1861? How about 1792? That was a great time for the blacks. Standing on an auction block, that was a sexy time for us. I know I got a little bit off topic. I'm over here talking about food prices. All right, so we're saying goodbye to the Biden administration. So let's do a bit of an overview of how the Biden administration really tried, with very little help, if any, help from the Republicans in Congress, to try and get a grip on food prices. All right, in Joe Biden's State of the Union address back in March, Biden spoke to what people in the United States were seeing. Trips to the grocery store are more expensive than ever. And the reason is not the one you may think. It wasn't inflation, it was corporate greed. Quote, too many corporations raise their prices to pad their profits, charging you more money for less and less, the president said in March. In the days before the State of the Union address in which Joe Biden made that statement, it was found that between 2020 and 2024, the cost to feed a family of four grew 2.5 times more than the rate of inflation. So I'm going to pause there, come back, and pick up the conversation and explain what the Biden administration tried to do to get a grip on food prices. And then some of those policy announcements were carried over into the Harris campaign. But again, none of it seemed to work out. We're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 101.7 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
Sometimes it takes a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And at Vin Baker Recovery, they understand the power of having real support while you're on that journey to recovery. This is why at Vin Baker Recovery, they customize treatment plans specific for your needs. Vin Baker Recovery provides our community and anyone looking for help with access to mental health care and recovery support, helping you treat addiction. So whether opioid abuse, alcohol, or other controlled substances, Vin Baker Recovery helps you get back to the lifestyle that you know will be the best option for your future. Vin Baker Recovery offers licensed counseling and therapy services to curb the mental health problems that have been impacting our communities for far too long. They provide services like medication-assisted treatment, outpatient care, and hub and spoke services with peer support. So what are you waiting for? Vin Baker Recovery accepts walk-ins and appointments. It's just that easy. Just visit VinBakerRecovery.com. That's VinBakerRecovery.com. They're here to help you win the day.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Sunday, December 15th, get ready for the ultimate holiday celebration at the Celebrity Status Holiday Gala. Join the Status Gala at the Potawatomi Legacy Ballroom at 6 p.m. for a night of fashion, business networking, and incredible performances. Enjoy Grammy-nominated Corinne Hawthorne, a tribute to Quincy Jones by Sam Belton, jazz experience, and more. Tickets are just $75, includes dinner and a $10 gameplay, plus special table rates and exclusive perks. Vendors welcome. Limited space available. Get your tickets now at Celebrity Status Barber and Beauty at Mayfair or on Eventbrite.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. See, I'll play songs that modern rappers have sampled because sometimes y'all don't know the history. Someone that does know the history of these songs that modern rappers sample, and his name is, hello, Bob.
Hello, Sherwin. I just wanted to check you on one thing. Because they got a good ecosystem, don't mean, I'm going to shout out to them. That's all I want to say. Then I want to go back to listening. But, I just had to check you on that. That's all I needed to say.
Bob, you didn't check me on anything. That was not. Do you know what a check actually is?
I'm not shouting out to them because they have a good ecosystem. You shout out to them, Sherwin.
But it works, Bob. I'm saying that is why they win elections. I just want you to understand that because you're the only one over here still confused as to why Donald Trump won. We are a month past the election. You're the only one out here still. Well, I don't know how it would happen, Sherwin. I'm trying to explain it to you, man.
But I'm not shouting out to them, Sherwin, because they got a good ecosystem. That's all. I had to just check you on that.
I'm shouting out to the Democrats that they need to do a much better job. But whatever. Bob, you just go to sleep, please. Just go lay down.
I'm going to go back to listening. I'm just not shouting out to nobody.
Why you hold on, dog. You better take some of that bass out your voice talking to me. Over here talking to me like you got two good arms. You need to sit down. Sounding like you got two arms at work. Oh, one arm. Bandit? Y'all hear the way he trying to get loud? Why do y'all think it's sweet? Y'all think it's sweet because I be on this little microphone, because I be talking. Y'all be getting slick. Be getting slick in the text messages. Y'all be calling. Gabriel just be calling just because he want to talk to the producers, but he too scared to talk on the air. Dog, chill with that. Over here distracting my producer. Gabriel, call other shows, dude. Don't call this one, please. Because if you're not, producers do other stuff, as Ricky clearly told you yesterday. And to answer the phone for someone that doesn't want to be on the air means they have to stop doing what they are doing in order to answer the phone. Because I noticed when I put you on air, you hung up. So if you're going to call this number to actually talk, or just do this, Gabriel. Just text. Just text in. And then that's just as good, because that way you're not distracting the producer. Okay? Thank you, guys, for cooperating and listening. The corporate profits rose 5 times faster than inflation from 2020 to 2022 when it comes to the price of food. What's more, a recent report from the Biden administration shows how big companies benefited from worsening the supply chain problems that raised prices during the pandemic. This trend has been enabled by lax antitrust government enforcement that has let corporate giants get bigger. And as they get bigger, their power grows. Luckily, there's a way in which this problem can be tackled. The question is, the Republicans likely won't do it. How corporate consolidation leads to higher prices. So I'm sure some of you may have heard that the grocery store chain Kroger was seeking to merge with another very large grocery store chain called Albertsons. Now, we don't have Albertsons here in the upper Midwest. At least I don't think, because a lot of times the names of some of these corporations will be one thing, and then the brands they own will be another. And don't worry, I got details on that too. Kroger used to be a grocery store chain in the South. I remember going down South because if you're black and you have family that's in the South, summer vacation was simply going to visit your family. That's all it was. We didn't get fancy with it. We didn't go to Disneyland or Disney World, and we didn't go to the damn Eiffel Tower. We went to go see Big Mama and them, and you played with your cousins, and you bought fireworks at Boomland. That was my whole childhood. That's what vacation was for us. And so when you went down south, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, you went to, ironically enough, Walmart, because Walmarts weren't in the upper Midwest. Well, not in cities, not in the city of Milwaukee until, I don't know, late 90s, give or take. But if you went shopping down south, you went to Walmart, you went to Winn-Dixie. Hindsight being 2020, I do not feel comfortable shopping at a store or a chain that has the damn word Dixie in their name. Or you shopped at Kroger. And it's foreign to us because back in the day we had, think about how many grocery stores we had. I'm not even going to mention the mom and pops because some of those are so hyper local that only people that grew up in certain neighborhoods and on certain cross streets even know the names of some of those. But we had Jewel. Remember Jewel? Then we had Jewel Osco. Then we had, remember Cub Foods, right? Had Cub Foods. All of them gone. And then for a long time you had Pick and Save. And then their big supplier was Roundy. I think, did Roundy's also have a line or a chain of grocery stores in the upper Midwest? I feel like they did. Notice how all of those brands are gone. Your Jewel Osco, your Cub Foods. Out in Brown Deer, we had a grocery store called Sun Foods. There's a couple of Centuries left. Century used to be all over the place. There also used to be a grocery store chain in the Milwaukee area. Oh, I know you're going to know this one because they have a very distinctive shape to their buildings. And some of those buildings are still around to this day. Kohl's grocery store. Remember Kohl's grocery stores? They were all over the place. All of them are gone. What has happened is that these large food producing and distributing companies have done what is called a vertical alignment. Once a food distribution company gets big, they buy their competition. They buy other grocery stores. They buy them out, and then they combine their resources with the ones that they bought out. Now you only have a handful. So between Amazon and Instacart, Walmart, and Kroger, that's probably 80% of where we get our food from. Make sure I got this right. So it's going to be Kroger, Albertsons, because Albertsons and Kroger tried to merge, but a federal judge was like, can't do it. You're too much of a monopoly. Then you have Amazon, because you can buy groceries on Amazon. Is Instacart different than Amazon? I don't know, because I don't buy my groceries on the internet because I don't want to do that. Walmart is the biggest grocery store chain in the nation. Then you have Amazon, then Kroger, Albertsons, and I think I might be forgetting another one. That's basically it. There's no Jewel. There's no Jewel Osco. There's very few Cub Foods. There might be a Cub Foods or two left in the Minneapolis area, but they don't exist like they used to because these vertical alignments are, if I get so big, I'm going to buy everything. There is a fascinating story about the companies and the corporations that produce our food. I'm going to read you. The list is exhaustive, but I have to read the number of brands of different types of food that we buy that are owned by a single company. And not only do they own, oh God, it's got to be over 100 different brands of food. Some of this stuff ain't even connected. You know what else is crazy? Some of these large food producing corporations, they make pet food too. Something about that doesn't sit well with me. If they make like candy and soda and packaged foods and also make puppy chow, kind of weird for me, because you got to wonder how far away are those food production lines from the human food and the pet food. But when you have just a handful of companies that have this vertical alignment, they own everything. They buy up everything. They buy up every small grocery store. They buy up regional chains. When those companies control a large portion of the food market, they can raise prices whenever they want. And no matter where you are in this country, chances are you are buying your food, your grocery products from one of these 4 or 5 companies that control the overwhelming majority of the food that we consume. But then the other part of vertical alignment is you have a company, which I'm going to reveal in a little while, that owns the farms. They have leasing contracts with the farmers. They produce the fertilizer. They produce the feed for the animals. They even have a subsidiary that gets, and this is the part that just blew me away, they even produce tires. Because if you're a farmer and you're leasing your land from this company, and you're buying your feed from this company, and you have tractors, and your tractors need tires, you're buying your tires from the same company that owns the land you're farming, that you buy your feed from. They consume literally every part of the supply chain. And it would have gotten worse had this federal judge not blocked the Kroger-Albertsons merger. So I'm going to take a break, come back, and get to the real root of why our food prices have gone so high, because a handful of companies control most of the food that we purchase, and when they decide to raise prices, you're going to feel it. Problem is, instead of looking at them, looking at these large corporations, we blame the presidential administration, which is factually inaccurate. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a back seat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Man,
fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the WASPs. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. So I got a list of just a handful of companies that own and control most of the food that we buy. So when they raise their prices across their brands and the grocery store chains that we go to decide that they want to raise their prices, this has more of an impact than just inflation alone. Keep in mind, inflation is going to happen. Because if you look at what anything costs right now in the year, almost 2025, go back 15 years, 10 years, everything was cheaper because inflation is just a natural phenomenon that occurs over time. But when businesses and companies want to raise their prices, that has an effect that compounds inflation. And what happens is when wages don't go up, because the minimum wage is still $7.25, which we all can agree is unaffordable. And people say, well, no, if we raise the minimum wage, then companies are going to raise their prices. They're already raising the prices. Let's talk to. Hello, Lori. I'm glad you're calling us back.
Hi. Good morning, Sherwin. And I'm sorry I have not been able to listen to your show this morning, but I did say call back, so that's why I'm calling back.
All right. So you called yesterday, and you were, I guess, confused would be the good word as to why so many people or women, or was it black people, voted for Kamala Harris? That didn't make sense to you? Is that somewhat similar to what you were saying yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was for black women that I was curious. And so that's why I started listening to your show. But yesterday, and hear me out, please, like you always do for people, I got my answer. And it was when you were speaking about power. It says when you give powerless people power, they don't know what to do with it. And that, to me, is what Kamala is.
So is she the powerless person, or was she offering to give power to powerless people?
No. And we're just talking about me, she was powerless. It was fake. She just came across so phony. I look to people like, Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard?
Tulsi Gabbard, correct. She's going to be, she's Donald Trump's selection for National Security Advisor or something like that.
Got my attention when she was a Democrat. But I go way back. I'm 64 years old. I mean, I loved Shirley Chisholm. That's how old I am. And I knew about her when I was 8 years old. Maya Angelou. I mean, even Condoleezza Rice. So these are strong, powerful women, black women, that I have looked up to and learned from, and not the Oprahs. And
Laura, you don't find it a bit of a twist of either fate or irony that you could look up to those, and I would agree, strong, powerful black women, and then now prefer Donald Trump?
No. Okay, first time voting for Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the lesser of two evils. My thing is I go against the world. And you were saying that yesterday. Who do we feel safe with? There was no way, no how I would have felt even remotely safe that Kamala would have the power against the world. Now, so I don't dream that Donald does in his power. He did it for 4 years. So in my personal life, it was calm. I watched Kamala, and when she had her power, she did not do well with it.
How do you figure? Tell me how you think she. I'm curious. How do you think she didn't do well with her power?
The border. Okay, now let me tell you about the border. I, like I shared yesterday, am a widow of a Mexican man. His family came over the border in the 50s. He was born in Chicago, but they used his birth certificate to smuggle babies across the river to get in, and they worked their patooties off. So my theory on the border is not gung-ho like Trump, because I know of people, and I love people who did come across and lead productive lives. She did not step up to that position of power and do something awesome with it.
All right, Lori, so I got to get some clarity here from you. What kind of power do you think the vice president of the United States has? And the power that you believe that they have, do you think that they have more power than the president? Do they have more power than the U.S. Senate? Does an individual vice president have more power than the House of Representatives? That's a yes or no. Do you think that they have more power? Yes.
No, but let me answer that, please. Okay. You can go to those people and organizations and present something and grab a hold of it and do something with it.
What can you do if, as vice president, your only job description is, yes, you represent the United States when it comes to foreign matters and foreign affairs, but we also have a Secretary of State that does that. But a vice president can make no promise, can make no policy, can't do anything without the president say so. They label Kamala Harris a border czar because people that do not know or have an understanding of what a vice president can do thinks that the problem fell at her feet. If you were vice president, watch J.D. Vance. In fact, you haven't heard a damn word from J.D. Vance. Why? Because he's the vice presidential nominee or the vice president-elect. He's not going to do anything. He can't say anything. Kamala Harris had no policy power. But what they did is they labeled her the border czar. And instead of Donald Trump being much more forceful when he was in office, because he should have stopped deportations, he should have built a wall. He didn't do it. So what they did is they blamed the black woman. And it's very interesting that you say there are other black women in history that you looked up to that were very, very strong. They called Kamala Harris the border czar, said we have a problem with illegal migrants in this country, which maybe we do, and that took away her credibility. So in voters' minds like yours, she looked weak. She was no Condoleezza Rice. She was no Maya Angelou. She was no Shirley Chisholm. Do you see how they did that? And I'm somebody that's worked in campaign politics, and if I was the Republicans, I would have done the exact same thing to convince a voter just like you.
Well, first of all, I didn't agree that she should have been called the czar.
But you also made it seem like she should have done more. All she could have done was gone to the border. But then had she gone to the border, how does that stop people that want to come to this country to flee drug cartels? Has she gone to the border, how does that stop people that want to come here for a better life? How does that stop people that will gladly work in the United States for $7 an hour and take jobs that Americans don't want? How does her going to the border stop any of that? How does that stop any of the economic deprivation and poverty in third world countries by her going to the border? Because even if she would have gone to the border 50 times, the reasons why people come to this country would not have changed. She doesn't have policy-making authority. Congress does.
No,
what did Ron Johnson do about the border? Like, that's the bigger question to ask. What did Mike Johnson do, who is now Speaker of the House? What did he do about the border? I just want you to think critically about these things instead of just going along with media narratives. And trust me, Lori, I know media narratives. I'm the media. I have narratives.
Correct. And what you're saying, do you know, I agree with some of it, but you're missing my point.
Okay.
Take those 60 times. If she would have gone to Biden and taken those 60 times, you know something would have been worked out. If she would have taken those visits down there and kept it a priority, she goes to Biden and says, I want to do more. Give this to me. Give me the power. I can do this. I can put into a policy after I work 60 visits down there.
That is, before you go on that's a fantasy road. It doesn't work like that. When Joe Biden was vice president to Barack Obama, do you think that Joe Biden begged and went to Barack, I want to do this? And I'm sure he did, but Barack Obama said, you are the vice president. I am the president. A vice president can never, ever, ever overshadow what the president is doing. It probably was not in Joe Biden's agenda to be so forceful on the border because we had to get the economy back in shape, had to make sure we didn't fall into a recession. We had to make sure that COVID was mitigated. There were other priorities. If the border was such a priority for Donald Trump, because quite honestly, he ran on it and he won, then why didn't he do more when he promised to build the wall when he was in office first term? Problem is, we have a double standard. Trump can talk all of this blustery nonsense about the border, and border crossings were actually lower under Barack Obama. There were more mass deportations under Barack Obama than Donald Trump, and Donald Trump ran on it. So thinking that Kamala Harris some kind of way fell short, or she didn't do more, or she should have made Joe Biden give her more responsibility, that is not at all how it works.
You know what? I'm going to agree to disagree with you.
About what?
That she could have. So the buck stopped with Biden, you're saying.
Yes.
Biden should have given that to her.
She was a district attorney and a U.S. senator. How all of a sudden are you going to diminish the things that she has done in the state of California and in San Francisco to just putting her at the border because Republicans all of a sudden see it as a prevailing issue? It's much bigger than that. It's actually more about xenophobia. But, Lori, I appreciate your call. I can't talk to you forever because I'm not getting anywhere. I'm sure a bunch of you have strong opinions about my phone call with Lori, but I think it's good that we hear from folks that have a created narrative in their mind. Like, they can manufacture what they think the vice president is supposed to do, which is factually inaccurate. If you believe that a vice president can do all those things, please show me anywhere in American history. And I got time. I got an hour and 10 minutes left of this show where a vice president has taken on an issue that overshadowed the president of the United States. I'll wait. Lyndon Johnson, probably the most significant vice president in modern American history, and he became president because Kennedy got shot. Like, that was the most significant thing he did, was just wait for Kennedy to lose his mind. That is not how it works in this country. J.D. Vance, listen now, I need you to, Lori, I know you, Lori, thank you for calling, and I hope I wasn't too condescending because I got to work on that. That's my New Year's resolution. I got to be nicer to folks now, but I get so damn frustrated. Donald Trump is going to tell J.D. Vance when he can wipe his butt. J.D. Vance is not going to go anywhere. J.D. Vance is not going to say anything. J.D. Vance is not going to say, hey, Donald Trump, can I do that? Shut up, J.D. Vice presidents sit there. That's what they do. And if there is something that is reasonable, that's not controversial, maybe the president will put the vice president on. You know what Barack Obama did for Joe Biden? Made him the cancer czar. And I think that's where they got that whole concept from. All that meant is that Joe Biden was going to be focused on this thing called the moonshot. We were going to cure cancer. And Joe Biden didn't. He can't even do anything. It's just like symbolic. Joe Biden didn't cure cancer. And the only reason why Barack Obama had the moonshot and put Joe Biden as, the person who Barack Obama selected to be the quote unquote cancer czar is because Beau Biden died from brain cancer. That's it. So let's not operate under an illusion that if there's a problem that existed when Donald Trump was president the first time and he didn't do anything about it, and then you remanufacture the problem, because here's what it is, Lori and those like you, y'all don't want non-white people coming to this country. That's what it is. Even though we as Americans commit far more murder, they say, oh, look at these migrants that came up here that committed 0.025000% of the murders. They're killing all of us. We have to stop them from coming. Why are they coming and killing all of us? It's Kamala Harris's fault. And that's the most ridiculous thing. If people could just step outside of themselves for a moment And see how insanely outrageous that is to blame a vice president for a problem that Donald Trump basically ignored. Because when he couldn't build the wall, Trump gave up. Barack Obama deported more people and had fewer border crossings than Joe Biden and Donald Trump combined, and Obama didn't even talk about it. It's like maybe it's one of those old school sayings, don't talk about it, be about it. Obama probably saw there was an issue with too many border crossings, so what did he do? He did something. He didn't make Joe Biden do it. And border crossings, I think they're low. They're the lowest level now than they've been in I don't know how long. They might be lower right now under Joe Biden than they were under Donald Trump. COVID slowed some stuff down because I gave the president some additional executive authority when it comes to closing the border, because we weren't closing the border to capital. We weren't closing the border to goods. We weren't closing the border to Americans that want to go to Cancun and have random sex and get drunk. We were closing the border to COVID, quote unquote. And by closing the border because of COVID, that might have slightly halted some migrations, but a vice president doesn't have that kind of power. Of all the things that I get to do with this job, and there are many, I get to explore, thoughts and ideas, policy, and have great discussions with you guys. There's something that breaks my heart, and I deal with this. When I have to explain how the government works and what government officials do and what they're responsible for people that are older than me, that are a quarter century older than me, that are 15 years older than me. I have to explain to them how the government actually works, meaning they have lived longer than me, they have cast more votes and probably done more political damage because of their lack of knowledge. And that is terribly disheartening to me. But I vow to try and clear it all up on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
We have to make sure that when we talk about making change, when you talk about vote, when you talk about these elections, when you talk about how we're going to get ahead, we definitely got to start paying attention to the local process, because these are the processes that are governing our lives.
Yes.
And they got you looking across the street down at Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. They got you looking at Project 2025, but you barely got money to stay alive.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Are you or someone you know 18 or older and need a driver's permit? Greater Milwaukee Urban League's free driver's permit classes can put you in the driver's seat. You'll learn the rules of the road from qualified instructors, moving you one step closer to successfully earning your driver's license permit. You may also qualify for free behind-the-wheel instruction. Classes are available December through March. You can attend virtually or in person. Visit tmul.org for more information today.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Backed by popular demand, Shawnee's Exquisite Catering is once again taking your holiday gathering to the next level. And not only are they bringing back their traditional holiday meals, but they're adding something new and just as delicious: seafood dressing. And of course, they'll have their family meal deal. Book now for fresh, flavorful dishes that will make your holiday season unforgettable. Pickup and delivery is available as well, so all you have to do is enjoy your holiday. Contact Shawnee's Exquisite Catering at 414-216-3469. Happy holidays.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I was slightly distracted by Lori, but it was a worthwhile conversation, because what I don't want is for the American people to be fooled into thinking that a problem that exists in this country that I suppose enough voters can agree on was the responsibility of a single person. Between the president and Congress and how we spend our money, how we allocate our budgets, there's your border crisis. They also haven't cleared up for us exactly what is going to get better if you deport 11 million people. How are we going to be in a better position? How's the economy going to be better? Are my wages going to go up? Is the price of groceries going to go down? Is it going to be easier for someone to be a first-time home buyer? Our property tax is going to go down. Like, what is going to happen? Are our kids going to get a better education? Are we going to have more money to invest in education? Like, what is going to happen? Where is the benefit? Where's the carrot and the stick? Or they just don't want these people here because white populations in the United States are going down. Which one is it? Tell us what it is. Tell us. Maybe you can get me to agree with deporting 11 million people if you tell me what the hell I'm going to get. What am I going to feel safer? My enemy has been the same. And for black people to veer away from this enemy, it is to our detriment, to our community's detriment. Our enemy was, is, and will be, listen to me very, very clearly, white supremacy. It wasn't the Vietnamese in the Vietnam War. It wasn't the Koreans. It's white supremacy. It's racism. It's institutional and structural racism. And those people who are involved in maintaining institutional and structural racism have so much power that they can tell us who they hate, who we're supposed to hate, so that we are no longer focused on them. Every moment that we spend focused on something other than how white supremacy and institutional racism literally kills black people. It takes black breath out of black lungs. It stops black hearts from beating. We are not in a position in this country, I don't care how much money you make, I don't care where you live, I don't care what your education is, where we can take our eyes off of the elegant and sophisticated moving target of white supremacy. That is my enemy, not a Mexican coming over here because they want to work at a job that I literally step over. You can't have me that fool to someone who has had zero bearing on my life. They're not going to take my job. I do talk radio. I speak English. If somebody that don't speak English can come and take my job, then you know what that means? I suck at my job really bad. Could you imagine if I had a legitimate fear of, and migrants can come from everywhere. I don't know why I keep picking on the Mexicans, but because they're easy to pick on. Shout out to the Mexicans. But imagine I walk out the studio today. Craig Karmazin, Greg Scalzo, Kyle Wallace, a few other folks are just waiting for me when I walk out the studio. Oh, Sherwin, yeah, we're sorry to let you know that, yeah, that was your last show. Yeah, turn in your key card. You're done. You're not coming back here. I'm like, oh, shucks. And you know what I do? I run right to YouTube. But then tomorrow, you turn on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, expecting to hear me and see me, and you see Maria sitting here. Hello, welcome to The Truth with Maria. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, el políticos 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? It wouldn't make any sense. I'm not worried about her coming and taking my job. All right. Did you know that Dove body wash that you keep in your shower comes from the same corporation as that jar of Hellmann's mayonnaise in your refrigerator? Or the German company that owns virtually every coffee and pastry chain you can think of that is not Starbucks? Many products that you buy and restaurants you visit are owned by a small number of giant but relatively obscure companies. I have 11 companies that are behind the incredible number of famous brands. And so instead of just talking about inflation and blaming that on a president or an administration or a political party, when you have a small number of companies that control, it's getting close to 85 to 90% of what we buy. When they decide that they want to raise their prices across all of their brands, that gouges us more than any monetary policy that could be supported by a Democrat, a Republican, or a president. Number one, Unilever. Unilever is a massive corporation responsible for more than 400 individual brands. It says its products are used by 2.5 billion people on planet Earth every single day. It may not make everything from soup to nuts, but it's pretty close. A chunk of your family bank accounts could be going to Unilever every time you shop. The company has more than 150-year-old history, and for decades, its home base was split evenly between England and the Netherlands. But Unilever recently decided to make the Dutch city of Rotterdam their one and only headquarters. So, on Take a Break, come back and discuss just one of these companies, Unilever, how many brands they control, not just here in America, but globally. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Wednesday night, we have a clash of Horizon League rivals as the Milwaukee Panthers travel to Green Bay to take on their conference rival, the UW Green Bay Phoenix.
Lob it up, and Darius Duffy with a dunk. An alley-oop will bring the crowd to their feet. Panthers push. Stillwell a leaner. Stillwell counted and won. Jermichael Stillwell.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock. Coming with straight truth.
Where does that blame and where does that frustration start to turn towards? And again, we feel like, or I do, a lot of the narratives that are out there, just even down to what black men want to do or who they marry once they are successful, a lot of them are lies that have been repeated over and over and over.
For a long time.
Yes.
Listen to Truth Be Told with Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Truth Nation, let us take a second to brag for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like President Joe Biden.
Black child poverty was cut in half in 2021. We built black wealth, 15 million jobs nationwide, more than 2.5 million for black Americans. Black wealth is up 60% since the pandemic.
Former President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump.
Guys, we almost had a former president and very likely future president assassinated on live TV. Like, you know what that would have done for this country? You know what that would have made our country look like? We would look like a banana republic.
And Brewers all-star and former National League MVP Christian Yelich.
Listen, you already know.
Yeah, we got we were just in LA, so we heard our fair share of Kendrick out there in LA. Dodger Stadium has one of the best sound systems in baseball too.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app, listening live on 1017thetruth.com, and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions, get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. June 9. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life. And it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Welcome to hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm going to share with you guys a handful of companies that own most of everything that we buy, and when they decide that they want to raise prices, and the small number of grocery store chains that own most of the food distribution in the country, when they decide they want to raise prices, that has a much more deleterious effect on our wallets and pocketbooks than inflation. All right, let's start with Unilever. Unilever sells personal care and beauty products, including Q-tips, Vaseline, Axe body spray, Dove soaps and shampoos, Suave brand shampoos and lotions, Noxzema and Pond's skin creams. It also produces several iconic foods in the United States: Hellmann's mayonnaise, Lipton tea, and Knorr soups, Knorr soups. And Unilever is a giant in the ice cream and frozen dessert business. It's the company behind Breyers, Ben & Jerry's, Good Humor, Klondike, Magnum, and all popsicle brands. Mondelez. Interested in a snack? Though the name looks Latin or French, Mondelez International is a U.S.-based snack food powerhouse that has been around since 2012. So it's relatively new. It used to be a part of Kraft Foods. The name Mondelez is a made-up word intended to mean delicious world. Want something to nibble on? Mondelez has something for that. Its cookie brands include Oreo, Fig Newton, Chips Ahoy, Nilla Wafers, Tate's Bake Shop, and Nutter Butters. The company also owns cracker brands, Wheat Thins, Ritz, Triscuit, and Nabisco Premium Saltines. Additionally, Mondelez makes Sour Patch Kids candy, Dentine gum, and Hall's cough drops. Number 3, Berkshire Hathaway, handpicked by Warren Buffett. Even if you haven't heard of Berkshire Hathaway, you should know their billionaire leader. The chairman and CEO is the legendary investor, Warren Buffett. It's a conglomerate made up of companies Buffett has liked enough to say, "I'll buy it." Berkshire has bought them and added to its extensive portfolio. Major brands fully owned by Berkshire Hathaway include Dairy Queen, Fruit of the Loom, Geico Insurance, Hellsberg Diamonds, Pampered Chef Kitchen Tools, and Benjamin Moore Paints. Plus, they own Duracell batteries, Oriental Trading Party supplies, Granimals Kids Clothing, and See's Candies. Would you like a chunk of all of that? Buffett has famously never split his company's Class A stock, so it's been trading at more than $300,000 per share. RBI, number 4, Fast Food Royalty. Restaurant Brands International, or RBI, is a relatively young fast food business. The company was created in a 2014 merger. It currently has 3 big brands under its umbrella. RBI, which is based in suburban Toronto. Oh, that's where Drake is from. RBI was formed when Burger King merged with coffee and donut chain Tim Hortons. I don't think we have any Tim Hortons in Milwaukee. I know that Tim Hortons is also synonymous with Hardee's. If I'm not mistaken, there is one Hardee's left, and it's on the south side near the airport. I think it's off of Layton. If it's still there, I don't even know if it's still there. All right, 3 years later, the company added fried chicken to its growing corporate menu when they bought Popeyes. I know y'all love that chicken from Popeyes. Analysts expect more deals will give RBI an even bigger fast food empire. JAB Holding Company, number 5, JAB Holding Company is a secretive German investment conglomerate. It used to focus on luxury products such as Bally and Jimmy Choo shoes, but it's been selling off those brands and cornering the market on breakfast. JAB now owns nearly every coffee and bakery in the world that's not Starbucks. Your town is probably filled with these chains that are all a part of JAB, and they are Krispy Kreme Donuts, Einstein Brothers Bagels, Krispy Kreme listed separately, Panera Bread, Caribou Coffee, Bruegger's Bagels, Pete's Coffees, and Old Bond Payne. I don't know what the hell that is. The company also has a stable of popular consumer products. They include Keurig coffee and coffee makers, Green Mountain Coffee, plus Dr. Pepper and Snapple. Number 6, Rennick Beckenstir. Next time you're in the cabinet or under the sink, in either your kitchen or your bathroom, take a close look at your product packaging. You'll likely find a ton of stuff that is made by British consumer product company Reckitt Beckster. Am I saying that right? Benkster. Or RB. Let's just call it RB for short. It says its products are available in nearly 200 countries around the world. RB divides its brands into 2 categories, health and home hygiene. Some of RB's health products are Mucinex cold and flu medicine, Gaviscon antacid, Clearasil acne cream, Durex condoms, and Veet hair remover. The company's well-known home hygiene brands include Airwick air fresheners, Lysol brand cleaners, Calgon water softeners, Finish dishwashing products, and Woolite laundry detergent. Oh, here comes the monster. ConAgra. A head-spinning number of iconic brand names are a part of the family of ConAgra. And I want to do like a special focus on ConAgra because they own, I bet in a black household, 75% of what you have in your cabinet. 75 or 80% of what's in your cabinet and your cupboards and in your refrigerator. It's a Chicago company that got its start 100 years ago as a collection of Midwestern flour mills. So ConAgra said, we need to sell more flour. How are we going to sell more flour? You know what ConAgra did? They created Duncan Hines cake mixes. Then Duncan Hines got so big, it split off. Okay, so first you got ConAgra, and they're trying to figure out how do we sell more flour. So they came up with Duncan Hines cake mixes. You know them old box store-bought cakes that y'all be trying to pass off as homemade. Ain't no homemade cake. It's Duncan Hines cake. So ConAgra says, how can we sell more flour? They create Duncan Hines. Duncan Hines spins off and goes into all sorts of do-it-yourself-at-home ready-mix cakes, desserts, and confections. And then ConAgra gets so damn big, it buys Duncan Hines back. Next time you're shopping at the supermarket with your cashback credit card, you'll encounter ConAgra products down virtually every single food aisle in every grocery store. ConAgra is probably already well represented in your fridge and pantry. Here are some highlights from ConAgra's colossal lineup of brands broken into several categories. breads, spreads, and oils, Blue Bonnet, Earth Balance, Fleischmann's, Golden's Mustard, Pam cooking sprays, Parquet, Peter Pan peanut butter, Smart Balance, and Wesson cooking oils. Canned foods, Chef Boyardee. These are all owned by ConAgra. Hunt's tomato products, including all of their ketchups, LaChoy, Libby's canned meats, Manwich for a man-sized meal, Rosarita, Rotel, Van Camp's pork and beans, and Wolf brand chili. Frozen foods, Banquet, Bertolli, Bird's Eye, Celeste Pizza, Evol, Healthy Choice, Hungry Man, Marie Callender's, Mrs. Paul's Fish, P.F. Chang's, and Vanderkamp's Fish. Popcorn, Act 2, Angie's, Boom Chicka Pop, Crunch and Munch, Fiddle Faddle, Jiffy Pop, Orville Redenbacher, and Poppycock. Other snack foods owned by ConAgra: Andy Capp's Hot Fries, David Seeds, Duncan Hines Cake Mixes, Frontera Chips and Salsas, Ready Whip Whipped Cream, Slim Jim Snack Pack Puddings, Snyder of Berlin Chips and Pretzels. Everybody got the Snyder pretzels. And Swiss Miss Hot Cocoa. Salad dressings and syrups and sauces. They own Aunt Jemima. They own Log Cabin Syrup. They own Mrs. Butterworth. They own Open Pit Barbecue Sauce, and they own the full line of Wishbone salad dressing. Little side note about Open Pit Barbecue Sauce: it's not good. It's not good. Why do so many black people prefer Open Pit Barbecue Sauce? And where do we go wrong? Of all the barbecue sauces that you can get, you know there's only one. Do I need to tell you? Because if you're a real one, you already know. There's only one barbecue sauce. All the others are fake. All the others are imposters. I would ask Rick what the only barbecue sauce that ever even needs to exist is, but I have a feeling he might say Open Pit. If you're going to get another barbecue sauce, stay within this particular brand or product line, because they got variation. They got all the variation you need. They got maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 different flavors of the barbecue sauce, but there's only one brand. If you prefer barbecue sauce that is outside of this brand, you're probably a communist, or at the very least a threat to national security. If you prefer barbecue sauces that are not in the Sweet Baby Ray's line. Let me do you one better and help out you peasants. Sweet Vidalia Onion Barbecue Sauce by Sweet Baby Ray's is all of the barbecue sauce you'll ever need. You can put it on ribs. You can put it on chicken. You can put it on lamb chops. You can put it on your hot dog, put it on your hamburger. You can put it on your baby mama. It'll make her taste delicious. Put it on everything. I'll put it on myself if I'm lonely. Don't look at me like that, Rick. I'll put barbecue sauce wherever I damn well please.
I don't kink shame.
Thank you.
It's kind of kinky, but I don't kink shame.
I don't think it's delicious sauce. In fact, ladies, if you really want to attract that man, just dab a little Sweet Baby Ray's on your wrist. And you'll smell like a barbecue. And what man could resist that? Kind of aggro.
Real sticky.
That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with being a little sticky.
You nasty.
ConAgra also owns Egg Beaters, Gardein. They make a lot of plant-based and vegan products. Hebrew National Hot Dogs, Lender's Bagels, and Vlasic Pickles. You know what? I think it's on. I got the big list. I got to read the whole list to you guys. I'm going to do that next. I'm going to take a break, come back, and I'm going to read you the whole list of all of the food brands. That was barely even scratching the surface. So for this next segment, Sherwin is going to be like an audio book. So just keep the show on and just continue doing what you're doing. It's not going to be a lot of feedback because I'm going to get through this entire list of things that ConAgra brands owns most of the things that we purchase. So when they decide that they want to raise their prices as a company, as a corporation, that has more impact on our pocketbooks and our wallets than inflation does. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
The majority of rich white families and rich white people got rich off of slavery and have that same money today in their families that they hand down. It's not that we don't want to work. We weren't able to start businesses back in the day. So when you are able to start a business and we can't, and your family business goes from generation to generation and ours doesn't, whose fault is that?
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different. What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number, 1-800-662-HELP? What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sunday, December 15th, get ready for the ultimate holiday celebration at the Celebrity Status Holiday Gala. Join the Status Gala at the Potawatomi Legacy Ballroom at 6 p.m. for a night of fashion, business networking, and incredible performances. Enjoy Grammy-nominated Corinne Hawthorne, a tribute to Quincy Jones by Sam Belton, jazz experience, and more. Tickets are just $75, includes dinner and a $10 gameplay, plus special table rates and exclusive perks. Vendors welcome. Limited space available. Get your tickets now at Celebrity Status Barber and Beauty at Mayfair or on Eventbrite.com.
Milwaukee Class of 2025. Is your wish to win a laptop and a $1,000 scholarship? If so, Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Laptop and Scholarship Awards program is now accepting applications. Visit tmul.org and fill out the application today. The application deadline is Tuesday, January 14th at 4 p.m. So don't wait. Apply today at tmul.org. If you qualify, you can apply for both a laptop and a $1,000 scholarship. Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Laptop and Scholarship Awards is amazing. So visit tmul.org today.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I have this list, an exhaustive list of all the different brands owned by ConAgra Foods. So when we talk about a monopoly, this is what essentially a monopoly is. And it's also dangerous because if they decide that they want to raise their prices, there's nothing we can do about it. Imagine being so big that you can just buy your competition. You can just buy them. You don't have to compete. Just buy them. One day, there will be a single fast food giant. It will be a company that will be so big that they will buy Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Hardee's, Tim Hortons, Krispy Kreme donuts. It will happen because food is an incredible revenue generator in this country. A lot of you think that McDonald's
is a fast food company, a fast food chain, which it is. But McDonald's doesn't make its money, the majority of its money, I should say, is not made from the food. The majority of McDonald's money as a corporation that has shareholders, they make their money off of real estate. There's only maybe 10% of McDonald's franchise owners that actually own those buildings and own that land. If you're a McDonald's franchisee, you lease that building from McDonald's. So regardless of how your store is doing, how your McDonald's is doing, you owe the McDonald's Corporation rent. You're renting the building. Now, in turn for your rent, they're going to train your staff and get your uniforms together. They're going to install all your equipment. They're going to put the menu together. They're going to do all the things. But they own the real estate. If McDonald's liquidated all of the real estate that they own, that's why McDonald's don't really ever close. They own the property. And you'll always find another franchisee. Or there might be a particular McDonald's franchisee that owns 75 restaurants, which is not unheard of. And let's say the one on, say, 9th and North Avenue isn't doing so well. You would just approach the McDonald's franchisee that owns 75 restaurants and be like, hey, we got another one you can add to your portfolio in Milwaukee on 9th and North Avenue. But McDonald's is a real estate company. They found the best way to make money and maximize their profits for themselves, their CEOs, and their shareholders is to sell food. That is how they improve the value of their real estate. And they've created a fast food brand. But to think about McDonald's not being a fast food company, but a real estate conglomerate, it literally blows my mind. All right, let me start getting through this list here. ConAgra Brands, Act 2, microwave popcorn, Alexia, appetizers, artesian breads and potato products, Andy Capp's fries, flavored corn and potato snacks made to look like French fries, Angela Mia, tomato products and authentic Italian specialties, Angie's, ready-to-snack popcorn, Armor Star, canned meats, Award Cuisine, food service specialties that cross day parts and temperature classes, Banquet frozen meals, Bernstein's dressings, Bertolli Italian-style olive oil, Big Mama sausage, snack-sized preserved sausages, Biggs, flavored sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, everything in the Bird's Eye frozen food line, Bluebonnet margarine and bread spreads, Brooks beans and chili, Celeste frozen pizza, Chef Boyardee ready-to-eat meals, Chiffon margarine, Tub Soft margarine brand purchased from Kraft and later discontinued, Chun King, Chinese-style foods and packaged meals, ConAgra Mills, multi-use flours, the Cream brand of cornstarch, Crunch and Munch glazed popcorn nut mixture, David sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, Denison's chili, Duke's meat snacks, Duncan Hines cake mixes, Eagle Mills with ultra grain, all-purpose flour made with ultra grain, egg beaters, processed eggs, and egg whites, Fernando's Mexican entrees and appetizers, Fiddle Faddle glazed popcorn mixture, Fleischmann's, all their bread spreads and margarines, Fraser Farms, Frontera Foods, Gardein, Gebhardt, Golden Cuisine, Golden's Mustard, Healthy Choice, and their brand of frozen food and prepared meals, Hebrew National, kosher sausages, cold cuts, and condiments, Hungry Man frozen TV dinners, Hunt's, canned tomato products, ketchup, and barbecue sauce, Hunt snack packs, shelf-stable pudding, J. Hungerford Smith, dessert ingredients for restaurants, J.M. Swank, food ingredients, Jiffy Pop popcorn, kids cuisine, prepared foods for children, Krusties, am I saying that right? Krusties? Frozen pancakes, waffles, and French toast, La Choy Chinese-style products, Lender's, frozen bagels, Light Life vegetarian meat product substitutes, Log Cabin syrup, Lux Incorporated canned baked beans, Mama Gianelli's canned ready-to-eat pasta, Manwich canned Sloppy Joe mix, Margarita Italian-style processed meats, Marie Callender's frozen meals, The Max pizzeria quality products for food service operators. They own Milwaukee Pickles. ConAgra, which ain't even from Milwaukee, owns Milwaukee Pickles. They own Mrs. Butterworth, Mrs. Paul's, Move Over Butter, Nally, which is canned chili and condiments, Odom's Tennessee Pride Breakfast. They own Tennessee Pride Breakfast sausage. Lord have mercy. Orville Redenbacher. ConAgra owns Pam, Parquet, Patio, Pammican, Penrose, Pogo, Poppycock, Premium Glazed Popcorn,
Puritan ready-to-eat stews, ranch-style baked and refried beans. They own Ready Whip canned whipped cream. They own Rotel canned tomatoes and tomato sauce. They own Rosarita Mexican foods, Screaming Yellow Zonkers, glazed popcorn. They own Slim Jim, Smart Balance, Squeeze and Go prepared pudding, Swanson TV dinners, Swiss Miss powdered cocoa for hot chocolate and pudding, Van de Kamp's V8 sauces, frozen foods available in Canada only. They own Vlasic pickles, Vogel popcorn, Wendy's chili that you can buy in the stores owned by ConAgra, Wishbone salad dressings, and Wolf brand chili. Let's talk to Linda. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
Good morning. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, good Common Brand. And good morning to all the good black and white people of Milwaukee and America. Sherwin, wow, that was awesome. I was just standing here thinking of what word can I call it? The eloquent, passionate message, that you spoke after the caller, the Caucasian female. It was just so like, oh my God, really? I mean, if people don't see that, I mean, you took us to church right there, and I just had to call in just to compliment that.
Thanks.
I mean, I'm going through right now, Sherwin, for real. My with family, oh man, my uncle is, my dad's best friend and brother-in-law. He's in transition too, so that makes number 2, and it comes in threes, and so it's like triggering 10 years ago when it was my mom, my dad, and my brother, but at the same time, it's also triggering, the things that which is what you're talking to, and that is we are missing the boat, and this is what I've been in my family all along, that voice saying, let's be proactive, get educated, build the wealth. And it was just falling on deaf ear. And I'm like, what is going on? And so, your message just reminds me of that in my, situation, and just, when I watched the Jamie Foxx last night, what had happened was, and just all of our, experiences and how that really blinds us and numbs us to the beast, or, that's in, that's really in our face, playing in our face, But yeah, I just wanted to say that really touched me, and it was it's the passion and it's the heart of what I teach, what I live, what I try to, convey to my sons. It's just, I don't know, it's just frustrating when you don't hear, you don't get the response that you're looking for.
Thank you, Linda. And you're in our thoughts and prayers with the passing of your family members. We appreciate your call. Let's talk to Al from Sherman Park. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. I wanted to just game something out. Like, you were talking about the conglomerates and price gouging. What happens when those conglomerates meet up with Walmart, Kroger, and Dollar Tree, and they push back and they say, nope, you're going to sell to our distribution at this price. Nope, we're not going to go along with that increase. How does that play out between those two large forces?
ConAgra, most of what I read that ConAgra produces is sold at Walmart. So they already have that collaboration. Or if Walmart says, no, we don't want any of your ConAgra brands in Walmart, which Walmart would probably be out of business in a matter of 6 months if they stop carrying ConAgra brands. But ConAgra is so big, they would just start their own chain of discount stores just to sell their products. Walmart is actually fortunate that companies like ConAgra even exist, because most of what is for sale at Walmart is produced by ConAgra anyway. But when they bump heads, they either totally like split and then they'll create competition, or they'll use a third party, or But it's rare that corporations that large conflict because they all own the consumer wallet anyway.
I understand that Walmart has a great deal of power in getting the producers to make concessions to be presented up front in their stores. And I'm pretty sure like the Targets and others also push back on those same conglomerates, especially when they do their private label, their in-store brands. A lot of that is still made by those large conglomerates like ConAgra. I'm pretty sure your Great Value French fries are probably the same as what Banquet or whatever, Idaho is making that product for Walmart. So I don't know. I kind of like that two big forces battling up against each other and making each one take concessions. I kind of like that atmosphere.
Or they merge like Kroger and Albertsons, but a judge just blocked Kroger and Albertsons, which I think is unfair because Kroger and Albertsons represent the largest unionized workforces of grocery stores and grocery store chains. The best thing that Walmart does two things very, very well, and it's not provide products and services and grocery. That's not what it does very well. It does two things very, very well. It makes a ton of money. It makes a ton of profit. It does that very, very well. And it also keeps wages low because Walmart's workforce, which I believe is one of the largest other than the federal government in the entire nation, when they're not unionized, that has a depressing impact on all wages everywhere. So those are the two things that Walmart does better than anything else: make profit and keep wages low.
Well, they must be doing something because people stay at Walmart for careers. I guess those people that get promoted through management, they say there's low wages there, but I keep wondering why do people stay there with that corporation?
Probably because there's job security. They're usually right there in your neighborhood, and Walmart can make a lot of promises. But the only people at Walmart that actually make real money are either, I don't even know if store managers make a lot of money, but regional managers and like C-suite people. Other than that, Walmart pays people crap. It's store managers or shift managers at Walmart that make poverty wages. And here's the thing. There's this thing called externalities, right? Walmart pays their employees so little money. Well, that's why they can keep prices low. Because when you pay your employees more money, then obviously for Walmart to stay at its level of profitability, they're going to have to raise the prices. But Walmart pays their employees so little that they qualify for public benefits. That Walmart doesn't pay taxes because they can evade taxes, but we are paying for the Badger Care, we are paying for the energy assistance and all the other benefits that poor people are receiving, even though they're sometimes working full-time at Walmart. Walmart, they say on average, costs neighborhoods and cities $500,000 a year in street improvements because Walmart's generates so much traffic, they tear the streets up. Walmart doesn't pay for that. The city of Milwaukee pays for that. So just do the math on how many Walmarts you may have in any given area and multiply that times $500,000 every single year because of all the traffic that a Walmart generates, and those are improvements we have to make to keep the streets repaired.
Yep. Yeah, I guess Walmart has to compete, too, then, with people leaving and going to Amazon, the Amazon distribution centers. I'm wondering about this one up here on 117th and Burleigh. Is that one active, that Amazon center yet?
That I do not know.
Okay.
But there's
All right.
way more Walmarts than there are Amazon distribution centers, or at least there is right now.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, just some stuff to think about. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, then. Now. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Bikerfest MKE, where everyone has a place on the road. Bikerfest MKE is a non-profit dedicated to making the motorcycle industry more inclusive and accessible for all. Their programs empower youth with hands-on experiences in STEM, mechanics, and flat track racing through mentorship and real-world skills, preparing the next generation of riders, racers, and builders, giving underrepresented youth the tools to thrive. Join Bikerfest MKE to help build a more inclusive motorcycle community. Visit bikerfestmke.org today.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 101.7 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
An integrated strategy, including infrastructure, community involvement, education, enforcement, and legislative reforms. Yeah, we've kind of heard that before already. It can correct pretty much anything, right? They use it for everything except reckless driving in Milwaukee. I want you to consider this now. Expand the number of police officers in neighborhoods where reckless driving is happening. Punish with fines, extended license suspensions, use speed and red light cameras. We need to inform people about the repercussions of reckless driving, and then we need to follow through with punishment. We need to continue to build speed bumps, roundabouts, narrow the lanes to help traffic slow down, and while you're at it, designate some space for bicycles and pedestrians only. We need to encourage the use of mobile apps to report reckless driving since you're on your phone anyway. And finally, promote local and state legislation that successfully combats irresponsible driving. Yeah, we've heard that before, but no. Just enforce the laws we already have on the books. And by combining this, Milwaukee drivers can enjoy a safe environment that lowers reckless driving, all the risks that come with it. Why? Well, this needs to be the Common Council and the city's primary focus. So perhaps next time there won't be that, dead on arrival traffic bill in Milwaukee Common Council or that traffic bill in state legislature. But then if you're driving, you might want to be careful. I mean, the next thing that's dead on arrival could be you.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Rick, I think the music is better when I do it. I'm a DJ, technically. I'm going to add that to my resume.
I'm not understanding why are you telling me this?
Because I'm very good at everything.
Every music bed or bumper that's on this show, you handpicked.
Yeah. All of them.
So
the ones. Yeah, but that was... All right, so the music that you have on your side in the producer studio, I picked that music in 2021. Now, a lot of those songs are timeless and they are classic, but I'd imagine someone like yourself who works in music, you are a legitimate DJ, music that you would have assembled in 2021, while some of them would be classics, wouldn't be suitable today. I mean, they'd still be good songs, but also keeping in mind if those were the same songs you kept hearing for the last almost 4 years, you'd get tired of them. Well, and it's a process.
Well, Sherwin, I asked you, did you want to do audio?
Yeah, but I'd have to sit down with you and pick songs for every segment and every mood. Because that's the hard part. Like, that's what I think a lot of producers don't get. And this is, those of us that do talk radio have all dealt with this. A lot of producers have a DJ background. Not even sure why, because the two don't even really coincide. Producing radio and being an actual DJ at a nightclub or at a bar, whatever, they're totally different skill sets, but whatever. And DJs turned producers have their own tastes in music. And what they often do, I've seen this at every radio station I've ever worked at, a producer's taste in music is what they will play on a talk radio show that has a host that is speaking to an audience. An example would be Zach is in his 20s. Zach is also a DJ. Zach produces music. What Zach listens to, produces, and plays is not the kind of music that the audience of The Truth of Sherwin Hughes is even remotely familiar with. That's where there's oftentimes a disconnect, because music on talk radio, it's supposed to be a worthy addition, not a distraction. Now, every now and again, I'll talk about music. And then, of course, there's more flexibility with what is played. But a lot of times, do y'all ever listen to talk radio shows where the topic is one thing, it's interesting, it's entertaining, it's insightful, and then they'll play a song that just like, where the hell did that come from? And that hurts the listening experience.
But in my expertise,
yes,
I know your music background.
Do you?
I know what vibe you bring. A little old school Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, mixed in with some Baby Come Back. Like, I know what type of music that you want on your show because I produced for you before. Now, granted, if I was in my 20s, it probably wouldn't be the same thing. But now that I matured and I got to know you overall throughout the years, I know what type of background you want.
But are you playing music that Sherwin likes, or are you playing music that you would play if you were DJing an event where the people are between 45 and 60 years old? Because there is a difference.
Both, because I know your target audience.
All right. Thanks, Rick.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
All right. Appreciate you. Also, the ability to, like, if I think of a song, because it's too much work. Like, if I just think of a song with 10 seconds left before I come back on the air, hey, Rick, go find this song on YouTube and make sure you edit out the commercials and make sure you skip past all of the pre-roll. Like, that's too much. And plus, I'm teaching myself an additional skill set. What is this song right here? See, this is my problem, though, because I get distracted so easily. What is this here? Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Quiet Storm.
They should have never gave you a button.
I'm your host, Sherwin Hughes. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to do our request line. Call us up and tell us who you're in love with. We'll get that shout out right away.
Got some cognac on you.
I was driving into the studio today. They always do real weird like fillers because music shows, Quiet Storm, they don't really got that much to talk about other than sex. And I was driving in today and I hit a red light. And I, of course, had to stop. But I've been told now.
That's funny.
I've been told this. Best compliment I ever had, even though it was kind of an insult. Girl I went to, she's a grown-ass, middle-aged woman. Well, hell, now she's old. She's not political at all, but I've known her since we were in high school. She was a freshman when I was a senior. We went to UWM together. I just known her for a long time. And she said, sure, when I listen to your show, I'm like, oh, you do? Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I'm always flattered when people take time out of their day to listen to what the hell I'm talking about.
Because it is a talk show, so.
But she said, I don't really care about politics. I'm like, oh, there's other things I'm sure that I discussed that interest you. She was like, no, I just like your voice. She said, Sherwin, if you sat and read the phone book for 3 hours, I would still listen. I'm thinking to myself, that's not a compliment.
But in your defense, in her defense, you did say your voice is like butter. Did you not? You just said it yesterday. You say it all the time.
It's buttery.
What else?
Silky.
What else?
It's sweet. My voice, actually, when you think about it,
what?
It drips.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
My voice is owned by ConAgra Foods because it's like Mrs. Butterworth.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to get back to my show.
Talk to him, sure.
First, let's take a look at how corporate consolidation works in the American economy. We say markets are consolidated when a small handful of very big companies and corporations dominate an entire sector. They do this by buying or acquiring or joining/merging with another company. Consolidation gives these giant corporations the ability to dictate what goes on in the entire marketplace, from prices to working conditions. As Joe Biden once said, grocers that are in consolidated markets, charge you more because you have nowhere else to shop. That is called market power. And corporations are amassing it all across our food ecosystem. A few huge players have taken over the markets for dairy, packaged foods, seeds, grocery stores, and more. Previous governments have absolutely failed to stop this trend. Decades ago, the U.S. took consolidation seriously, but more recent administrations have sided with corporations over American families.
fail to stop mergers and acquisitions or the unfair practices that big corporations use to cement their reign. As a result, food prices soar while CEOs and shareholders pocket unprecedented profits. So there's a bit of, I'm going to call it a hack. If you know that like a ConAgra Foods and others, Walmart's another one, that they own and control the vertical market, like everything. They own the land, they own the seeds, the farmer leases the land, then they distribute the products to the stores and the distribution. They own all of that. Then you buy stock in those companies. While your prices that you pay for consumer goods are going to go up, so will your stock portfolio. So it's a bit of it's kind of a catch-22 because the amount of money that you spend on day-to-day items is certainly going to go up. Corporate profits are going to go up. CEOs are going to make more money. But if you have stock in those very same companies and you're a shareholder, then the amount that your prices go up on your consumer goods might be offset by the profit and the dividends you make by owning common stock. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
And at the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
Sometimes it takes a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And at Vin Baker Recovery, they understand the power of having real support while you're on that journey to recovery. This is why at Vin Baker Recovery, they customize treatment plans specific for your needs. Vin Baker Recovery provides our community and anyone looking for help with access to mental health care and recovery support, helping you treat addiction. So whether opioid abuse, alcohol, or other controlled substances, Vin Baker Recovery helps you get back to the lifestyle that you know will be the best option for your future. Vin Baker Recovery offers licensed counseling and therapy services to curb the mental health problems that have been impacting our communities for far too long. They provide services like medication-assisted treatment, outpatient care, and hub and spoke services with peer support. So what are you waiting for? Vin Baker Recovery accepts walk-ins and appointments. It's just that easy. Just visit VinBakerRecovery.com. That's VinBakerRecovery.com. They're here to help you win the day.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you or someone you know 18 or older and need a driver's permit? Greater Milwaukee Urban League's free driver's permit classes can put you in the driver's seat. You'll learn the rules of the road from qualified instructors, moving you one step closer to successfully earning your driver's license permit. You may also qualify for free behind-the-wheel instruction. Classes are available December through March. You can attend virtually or in person. Visit tmul.org for more information today.
Craving something mouthwatering? Head to Munchies, Milwaukee's finest quick-service eatery. You'll love their gourmet egg rolls, wings, loaded fries, and fried fish. And don't miss their signature pasta dishes and soul food options. Plus, ask about their upcoming pound cake line. They're open Wednesday to Saturday, 12 to 6 p.m. Visit Munchies on site. Call in your order or get delivery. Follow Munchies on Facebook and Instagram at Munchies Detroit Style. Check out their website at munchiesdetroitstyle.com. Munchies, where your cravings meet satisfaction.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I love this song. Truth Nation, we have big news. Mark your calendars for Friday, February 28th, as we will be hosting our first annual and first ever Truth Community Awards, celebrating individuals making a real difference in our community. We will honor the excellence in our community and recognize the quiet warriors creating extraordinary impacts. Tickets go on sale soon, and you do not want to miss this night of inspiration and celebration. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 28th at the Truth Community Awards, presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. I think I might put a suit on for that. Wear me a nice little suit. I don't like wearing ties, though. I really don't like wearing ties. But I suppose for the Truth Community Awards, I will. On tomorrow's program, we're going to be speaking to newly minted UW Milwaukee, a fellow Panther, County Executive David Crowley. He's going to tell us about his journey. A lot of folks didn't even know that he returned to UW Milwaukee to finish his degree. He dropped out when he was about 19 years old, and he committed and vowed that one day he would return to school and finish. And not only did he return to school and finish getting his degree, he did so while being the most powerful elected executive in southeastern Wisconsin as a county executive. There's a really, really good article in the Journal-Sentinel about his journey and his return back to school as what I'm going to call a non-traditional student. Really, really good article. And so he's going to be here tomorrow in studio with us talking about his journey. If David Crowley can do it, then I bet y'all can do it too. So looking forward to speaking with Milwaukee County Executive as he discusses his return to the classroom. There were some people that he was in class with, because he'd been going to school for the last 3 years. Y'all don't even know it. There were some of his classmates that didn't even know he was the county executive. Ain't that crazy? I bet he did well in his government classes. All right, let's see what I'm missing here on the text messages at 833-212-1017. Francis wants to know what I think of Aldi's. They're growing in the United States and much more affordable than other stores. So, to be honest with you, I've only been to an Aldi's once, and it was like in 94. And I think the only reason why we went, because we were having a barbecue and we were going to run out of chicken wings. Because Aldi's didn't used to have, they used to be only frozen food and just like packaged food. Aldi's didn't even have, you had to pay for the shopping cart and you had to pay for shopping bags? Or people would bring boxes? That's what I remember of Aldi's. I have not gone into Aldi's since they have become, I guess, much more integrated into the grocery store market, because I have this, I don't want to say what I actually think about Aldi's because it might offend a lot of y'all that shop there, but the way Aldi's descended into the Milwaukee grocery store ecosystem back in the 90s is a brand of low quality. And a lot of times when a brand is established as low quality, I don't care what they do to try and improve their image. Now, there's a new generation of consumers that wasn't even around when Aldi's first descended on Milwaukee, probably in the late 80s, early 90s. But how they entered the market, just like really super downstream. And plus, we had your Jewel Osco, your Pick and Saves, your Kohl's. Like, Aldi didn't even really fit in the marketplace. And so because I was an adult then, if I was shopping at one of those other much more familiar and established brands. So when Aldi came in, I wasn't really feeling it. And I think that sentiment is still stuck with me to this day. Another example would be when Hyundai and Kia first started importing cars to the United States in the late 80s and the early 90s. These were some of the worst vehicles you could buy. They were unreliable. They would break down with 10,000 miles on them. Their engines were garbage. Their transmissions would fail. And that is what I remember of Aldi and Kia, or not Aldi, of Hyundai and Kia when they first entered the market. And then because they knew that they had really poor quality, so then their next selling point was they were going to give 10-year, 100,000-mile warranties, which was very attractive to people that were looking to buy their first new car but did not want to be, stuck with a vehicle that's unreliable. But I remember Hyundai and Kia as crappy cars. I still to this day, and they have dramatically improved the quality of their vehicles. I mean, now they're a favorite of thieves, But I would never buy a Hyundai or a Kia. And I'm a car guy. I've always been into cars. I've been into cars my entire life. In fact, I've only missed maybe 3 or 4 auto shows in the last 40 years. I love vehicles. But because of my interpretation of the brand of Hyundai and Kia of being crappy vehicles, I don't care how nice, how fancy, and how feature-packed, and even how reasonably priced their vehicles are, either to buy new or to lease, I would never buy one. Let's talk to David. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Can't complain. What's on your mind, David?
Yeah, I just got in the car to continue listening, and I don't know if you said this or not, but it tripped me out that Aldi and Trader Joe is the same company.
Imagine that.
I don't know if you hit that or not, but check it out.
So is Chipotle and McDonald's. Did you know that?
Oh, really? No.
Yeah. So is Nissan and Infiniti. So is Toyota and Lexus. So is Acura and Honda.
So basically, you're saying Aldi dropped the quality, and so what's the difference between the stuff that Trader Joe get? Is it the same thing, or so what's going on with that?
No, let me do you one better. Have you ever heard of a restaurant downtown called the Capitol Grill?
Yes.
Guess who the parent company of Capitol Grill is? Applebee's.
Come on.
I ain't lying to you. If I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some truth for you. That's all I needed to find out. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, David. Appreciate your call. You know what I might do? If I can get my life together between today and tomorrow, is I'm going to do a show on all of the brand. It probably wouldn't be a whole show, probably a segment. I'll do some segments on brands that we're familiar with that are actually owned by other companies. The fact that y'all didn't know that Chipotle and McDonald's owns Chipotle. That's needs to be understood. So you're basically getting, it's different food, obviously, but it all comes from the same place and it's owned by the same company. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow and really shock a whole bunch of y'all. Appreciate everybody calling in and listening. Have yourselves a great day. Jamming with Juice is up next.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices. One Call That's All. Visit 101